Live from Conejo Creek, it's Oaks Baseball on KDTV, simulcasted onto YouTube. Before we give you all everything you need to know, we did have a late start here with the Oaks and the Puff Caps in the third game of the series, so we're going to send it straight to our PA announcer, Chris Raffanelli. Looks like both teams will do the national anthem, and then we'll give you a quick breakdown of today's game, and of course, get you the starting lineups into the first pitch. He's Jonah Malkin, I'm Jonathan Rifkin. This is Oaks Baseball on KDTV. Send it now to our PA announcer, Chris Raffanelli, for the national anthem.
Once again, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Conejo Creek Ballpark. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to invite you to please kindly stand and remove your hats for the playing of the national anthem.
Edition of our nation's national anthem here as we get you set for the Oaks and the Puff Caps, the third and final game of the series. Both these teams have split the first two games. The Puff Caps won the first game back at Cal Lutheran 7-3, and the Oaks coming in today's game, taking yesterday's game 4-2. A new venue here for today's matchup between the Oaks and the Puff Caps. Conejo Creek Ballpark just down the road of Cal Lutheran, but these two teams matched up here last year as well. Eight starting lineups for both teams. First for the visiting Puff Caps, is Dante Williams playing center field today's game. Bryce Bonin behind him out in right field from the University of Arkansas. Trey Cruz is in the third spot at shortstop, headed to Rice in the fall. To clean things up for the Puff Caps is Nick Brewser. Playing first base from Stanford. Drew Williams behind him, playing third base from UCSB. Brennan Beck is in the DH spot from Stanford. Toit Soderstrom playing out in the lineup for the Puff Caps is Cody Stevenson playing second base from San Jose State. On the mound for them, headed to Cal State Fullerton in the fall, is Tanner Bibby. For the Oaks, out in center field and kicking things off is Jason Oliver from Cal State Bakersfield. Max Weinstein behind him at second base. Grant Mayu at short in the three spot. Brandon Lewis playing third base in today's game from Pierce in the fourth spot. Over at first base is Cody Santana from Hawaii Pacific. Chase Cockrell is DHing today's game in the cleanup spot. Jordan McFarland is in left from the University of Arkansas. Milo Beam is in right from Purdue, and to round things out for the Oaks at catcher in today's game is Jacob Castro, headed to UC Irvine in the fall. Getting his third start on the season for the Oaks, Nate Wenner, last seen last week when the Oaks beat the Foresters 6-4. He got the no decision in that game. Dante Williams is going to lead things off here. He had a phenomenal day yesterday, going 3 for 5, 3 singles, an RBI, a run scored, and a strikeout. As the Cal Lutheran product on the mound gets set and fires the first pitch at the knees for a strike. First pitch time, exactly 12 o'clock. 72 degrees here with minimal wind at Conejo Creek. A smaller ballpark than Sparky Anderson Field. 320 in left and right, 365 in left center, 380 out to center, and 350 in right center. Wenner comes set and deals the 0-1 pitch. Cut on and missed for strike number 2. Wenner from Cal Lutheran. Originally from Bellevue, Washington, a suburb of Seattle. Says that the one thing that he misses about Washington is the fact that there's teriyaki restaurants on every corner of the street. Wenner shakes off the first sign from Castro, comes set on the mound, and deals the 0-2 pitch. A curveball waved at and missed for strike 3. Down goes Williams. And quickly, just like that, there's one away here in the top of the first inning.
Yeah, Wenner has really started to find himself, especially recently. He started against the Foresters in a big marquee game, a CCL game, and Coach Solis trusting him and he's just got great command over his pitches, as exemplified right there from that beautiful curveball that dropped inside.
Bryce Bonin stepping in now, got the day off. Their navy blue uniforms with white letters on the front, outlined by baby blue with white numbers on the back. White pants with a baby blue stripe down the side. Puff Caps in their green uniforms with black letters on the front, outlined by white. As the 1-0 pitch is waved at and missed for strike number 1. Black numbers on the back, outlined by winner deals the 1-1 pitch, low and away for ball 2. Nice day here from Conejo Creek. The only time that the Oaks will be at this venue. Looking to...
Right foot got away from him, so when he planted on the mound, he was falling.
To bring the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away here in the top of the first inning. Third and final game between these two teams of the season. The Oaks will be in Ventura tomorrow to cap. Bonin waves that bat over his right shoulder. The Oaks coming in today's game, it's high for ball 4. So after a runner on.
Yeah, that was a close one. Munner tried to get that pitch to just drop on the top part of the strike zone, but just...
Deals the first pitch. It swung and a missed for strike number 1. Runner on first base in the form of Bryce Bonin. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 umpire crew here at Conejo Creek. Interleague game means that they only have 2 umpires. Not in time as Bonin gets back in easily. Bonin, excuse me. Nice turnout here from both sides at Conejo Creek. Shaded bleachers. Though it is a cool day. Back to first base. Castro would have come up with that and probably hosed him if it was a good throw. 2-1 the count, 1 away now.
Yeah, heads up play from Bonin. Had a fairly good lead off.
Keeping his composure when he gets behind. Last week against the Foresters, when he started for the Oaks, 2 2/3, gave up 5 hits, 4 runs, only 3 were earned, 4 walks and 1 strikeout. No gun here from Conejo Creek. But Wenner's mean fastball tends to be between 84 and 87 miles an hour. Curveball, slider, and changeup as well. Checks that runner at first. Payoff pitch again. Runner goes, and it's slapped over to short. Running back is Mayo, and he can't make the grab, and that one's going to drop into shallow left center field for a single. Bonin advances on the hit and run, and there are 2 on with 1 away now.
Yeah, that was a nice job
Now batting
from Cruz, staying patient in the batter's box,
number 24,
working his way,
Bruiser.
finding that ball drop right in front of the strike zone, and blooped one into shallow left center.
Nick Bruiser will step in now for the Puff Caps. Oaks play the Halos tomorrow. That was looming on my mind. In the cleanup spot, headed to Stanford in the fall. 2 on, 1 away. First pitch up. Let's make their home in Northern California. They used to play in the CCL, but due to CCL, I think was a smart idea. Now an elite travel team. It's going to drop and roll back to the warning track. Rounding third and coming home is Bonin. Being held up at third is Cruz.
Third consecutive game, the Puff Caps have struck first. They've led. Puff Caps just getting good hits early, swinging early, but at the same time, the Oaks have to do a better job coming out with more focus right out of the gates.
Make a play on it in foul territory. No, it's Mayus that actually drops fair. The throw to the plate is not in time. Mayu on the slide, couldn't get it. Advancing the second is Brewster, and that is a bloop single for Williams. 2-0 lead now.
Drifted into the foul territory, but managed to stay in fair. And now
not in time, as sliding back easily is Brewster. 2 runs, 3 hits here for the Puff Caps in the top of the first inning. We can take it from the Oaks in game number 3 of the series. Winner comes set. Pearson fires the first pitch, a curveball, catching the outside corner for strike 1.
And drops in.
Winner comes set, toes the rubber, checks that runner at second a couple of times, and deals, though, 1 pitch. Another curveball. This one runs too far inside for ball number 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 away, 2 on, 2-0 our score here. Puff Caps lead it over the Oaks in an interleague game. Middle infield playing in double play formation. Mayu, the shortstop, holding on that runner at second. 1-1 pitch, runs outside for ball 2. 2 curveballs and a fastball in this at-bat. 2-1 count. Early game here for the Oaks. They play at 4:30 tomorrow, which is a late start for a Sunday. And they'll have a day off on Monday before heading to Santa Barbara for the 4th of July. It's going to be a long July, and happy July 1st to everybody. We made it through June. We're in our second month of collegiate baseball as the pickoff attempt is not in time. And it's really going by very quickly. We're already in the 24th game of the season for the Oaks, which reaches the midway point. It's kind of crazy to believe that once we hit August, there'll be no more baseball. Runner checks the runner at second and fires the 2-1 pitch. It's hit over into left. Running back on it is McFarland. That one is going to clear the wall for a home run. Brandon Beck is able to clear the 365 mark in left center field, plate 3 runs, and just like that, the Puff Caps take a 5-0 lead.
Puff Caps jumping out to an early lead in the third. They just decided, hey, we're going to get off to a better start here and quickly ahead 5-0. Just an impressive start out of the gates for them.
Yeah, beautiful hit. Didn't even seem like it was going to make it out of left, but McFarland took one look up and saw, well, that ball is gone. 5-0 our score. Tate Soderstrom steps in now. Takes the first pitch in the dirt for ball. See how and confidence building than it is actually with the actual CCL implications. 1-0 pitch from Wenner runs inside for ball 2. 5 runs, 4 hits here for the Puff Caps in the top of the first inning. Leading the Oaks 5-0. Puff Caps took the first game of the series 7-3. The Oaks took yesterday's game 4-2. 2-0 pitch slapped over to first where Santana will glove it and take it himself for out number 2.
Nice heads-up play from Santana. Started back further behind the first base near the grass of the right outfield and is able to get a head start, run into it. Ball bounced into his glove and able to make the play at first.
Tyler Lash steps in now, heading to Cal State Fullerton in the fall. Playing catcher in today's game. The first pitch to the lefty is popped foul. Castro takes a look at it, but it's going to go out of play. The Oaks have a couple of interleague games coming up in the month of July. They play Team Victory, the SoCal Halos once again, the SoCal Pirates as well. Or the Ventura Pirates, I should say. 0-1 pitch in from Wenner is a curveball. Grounded to second. Weinstein will glove it and toss it over to Santana in time for out number 3. 8 batters come around and 5-run score and 4 hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We're through half an inning here from Conejo Creek Ballpark. You're watching Oaks Baseball on KDTV. We'll be right back.
Jason Oliver.
Oaks half of the first inning now. Welcome back. Jonah Malkin, myself, Jonathan Rifkin. 5-0 Puff Caps lead it here as Jason Oliver, the speedy center fielder from Cal State Bakersfield, will step in, sporting the Roadrunner blue helmet. On the mound, Tanner Bibby from Cal State Fullerton, or headed to Cal State Fullerton. First pitch is a one-hopper over to third where Drew Williams will get it and toss it over to Brewster at first. One pitch, one away here in the bottom of the first inning. Now led the Kingsmen to a Division III championship a couple of weeks ago, I guess a month ago now, as Bibby deals the first pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Weinstein did have a 14-game hitting streak earlier in the season, but it ended in Compton last Thursday. 0-1 pitch in from Bibby. Runs low for ball 1. 5 runs, 4 hits here for the Puff Caps. No runs, no hits for the Oaks. In the bottom of the first inning, Weinstein led Cal Lutheran in batting average. Second on the Oaks in batting average. Behind DJ Miller. 1-1 pitch is slapped over to second, where Stevenson will get it and toss it over to Brewster at first for quick out number 2.
Yeah, and Weinstein, that time, I mean, he told us before the game he likes to swing on this first couple pitches. And maybe for him, you give him a pass because he's, as you mentioned, one of the best hitters in the CCL. But both him and Oliver swung on just 3 pitches and led to 2 groundouts.
Mayu steps in now from San Diego State. First pitch he sees paints the outside corner for strike 1. Oliver didn't play this past season at San Diego State, had foot surgery in the offseason, rehabbed during the baseball season, and now back with the Oaks to get back in shape. 0-1 pitch to Mayu is a fastball, swung and missed for strike 2. He also leads the team in stolen bases with 5. Smart base runner, as well as a phenomenal fielder, plays second and third base. He has made an appearance in right field as well on the season. 0-2 pitch in, runs outside for ball 1.
Yeah, and it's imperative for him to get off to a better start. He's 0 for 9 in the first 2 games against these 2 teams. So for his personal confidence, I'm sure he'd like to see one fall through for a base hit.
1-2 in from Bibby. Hates the outside corner for strike 3, and Mayu mouthing off. He needs to be careful. Oaks have yet to get an ejection this season, but nonetheless, quickly out of the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base, 1 strikeout. Head to the second. Puff Caps lead at 5-0. You're watching Oaks Baseball on KDTV. We'll be right back. Top of the second inning, Puff Caps lead 5-0. Welcome back, everybody. Jonah Malkin, myself, Jonathan Rifkin. Delighted to be with you on a beautiful Saturday afternoon from Conejo Creek Ballpark in the Conejo Valley. Cody Stevenson in the number 9 spot will step in to lead things off here for the Puff Caps and takes a pitch in the dirt for ball 1. Puff Caps plated 5 runs in the top of the first inning. Oaks went down in order in the bottom of the first inning. And that's how we've gotten to where we are thus far in the game. As Wenner back on the mound deals the 1-0 pitch, popped foul for strike number 1. 1-1 the count. Nobody away here in the top of the second. Feel free to interact with us on Twitter at Conejo_Oaks. He's at Jonah_Malkin. I'm at Johnny Riff. Or chat with us in the YouTube live chat box. 1-1 pitch shows bunt. Stevenson pulls it back though, and the pitch runs upstairs for ball 2.
Yeah, that was actually a heads-up play from Stevenson because it seemed like that pitch might have braked in the strike zone for Wenner, but stayed up top.
Wenner deals 2-1, popped over to third. Lewis is going to have a look at it as it drifts over to left, but that's going to go out of play for strike number 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. Stevenson headed to San Jose State in the fall. We'll look to take his talents into the Division I level, as all of these players on the Puff Caps are, and they have looked spectacular thus far in the series. 2-2 in from Wenner is fouled off the plate, and we'll do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wind blowing out to right center at 5 miles an hour, 8 miles an hour gusts. Nice day here, though. A little bit cooler as we hit July. This is the time where it tends to get hotter as we're in the full swing of summer. But just a nice little treat for us here in the Conejo Valley. Winner Pearson fires the 2-2 pitch over to third, and it's going to be gloved out of the air by Lewis for out number 1.
Yeah, nice heads up play from Lewis. Didn't have to move much. Took one step to his right, and the ball just slowly glided right into his glove.
Back to the top of the order we go to Dante Williams. Struck out swinging his first time up. He was the first batter of the game. Winner on the day in his second inning pitched, giving up all 5 runs, 4 hits, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout as he comes set on the rubber. Pearson fires the first pitch, a curveball that drops outside for ball 1. Give you the lay of the land here for the Oaks after this pitch. As the Kingsman on the mound comes set, takes a sign from Castro behind the plate, gloves that ball. Toes the rubber. Pearson fires the 1-0 pitch. Another breaking pitch stays upstairs for ball 2. Out and right is Milo Beam. In center is Jason Oliver. Jordan McFarland in left. Cody Santana at first. Max Weinstein at second. Grant Mayu at short. Brandon Lewis at third behind the dish. Jacob Cashman on the mound. Nate Wenners. He deals the 2-0 pitch from the stretch. It's popped foul against the screen. And that'll put a strike up on the board. Nestled in the little valley above the grade here on Jans Road. A nice little area in Thousand Oaks, about 5 minutes away from Cal Lutheran. The Oaks had to move here for today's game due to the training camps for the Lou Dogs. 2-1 pitch runs inside, 3-1 now. Lou Dogs are the summer camps that some of the Cal Lutheran players from the season will put on for some of the younger Little Leaguers here in the area, headed by Coach Marty Slimak, the championship baseball coach for the Kingsmen. Winner deals the 3-1, ripped over to first, but it just glides foul for strike number 2.
Yeah, that's a fortunate bounce for the Oaks because that was ripped into right and didn't look from our vantage point like Santana was going to be able to make a dive for it. That could have rolled all the way into the right corner for at least a double.
On deck, Bryce Bonin. In the hole, Trey Cruz, should we get that far. Full count, though, to Dante Williams. Looking to change his 0 for 1 today, but went 3 for 5 yesterday. Most productive puff cap hitter. 3-2 pitch, waved into center field. Running over to it is Oliver, and he'll snag it for out number 2. 2 quick outs here for the Oaks in 2 plate appearances for the Puff Caps. 5 runs, 4 hits for them. No errors, no runs, no hits, no errors in the top of this second inning. Bryce Bonin steps in now. Has yet to record a stat except for run in today's game as he drew a walk back in the first inning. The righty swings that bat in a counterclockwise rotation over his right shoulder. Winner Pearson fires the first pitch. Swung and a missed for strike 1. Nice pitch to start him off there.
Yeah, beautiful breaking ball. Started up in the shoulders and just dropped right over the heart of the plate. Catches Bonin swinging upstairs.
Winner comes set and deals, though. 1 pitch, a fastball taken at the belt for strike number 2. That one was right over the heart of the plate. It looked like Bonin was taking all the way. Infield playing back towards the grass. Bonin with a little bit of power that he displayed back in the first game of the series. As Winner deals, though, to pitch in the dirt for ball 1. In that game, Bonin batted in the second spot. Ended up going 1 for 4 with an RBI single, a run scored, a strikeout, a couple of groundouts, and a line out. He was the final out in that third inning where the Puff Caps showed 12 batters, 1-2 pitch runs inside for them. Winner comes set and deals the 2-2 pitch low for ball 3. The Puff Caps bench very vocal. Yesterday when the Oaks got off to a good lead on the Milo Beam home run, it silenced them for the first time in the entire series, but back here up 5-0, they're on their feet. Payoff pitch, runs low for ball forward for the second.
Yeah, good patience shown from Bonin in the batter's box, and along with fellow teammate Nick Brewster he drove 2 walks yesterday as well, so just a nice job seeing patience from the Puff Caps.
Trey Cruz steps in now. First pitch through the lefty, runs in the dirt for ball one. Gets away from Castro, but he corrals it quickly. 5 runs, 4 hits here for the Puff Caps. No errors, no runs, no hits, no errors for the Oaks. Runner on first base. And the former Bryce Bonnin, he showed steal last time he was on base, but ran back quickly as Castro got up. Wenner remembers as he tries to pick off a attempt at Bonnin and gets back easily. Third and final game of the series. Both teams have split it, but the Puff Caps up 5-0 here thus far in the game. Really looking to showcase their talents. 1-0 pitch, slapped over to first, through into right field, rounding second and holding is Bonnin as quickly Beam corrals that ball. The throw in goes past the glove of Mayu, but Lewis is there at third base. Another 2-out hit here for the Puff Caps, their 5th of the game, and they have 2 on now with 2 away. For Nick Brewser in the cleanup spot, 1-for-1. Eerily familiar sight here in the top of the second. 2 on, 2 away. As Brewser steps in, headed to Stanford in the fall. The Cardinal are going to pick up a nice young star. Should he keep up the pace of play that he has? 0-0 pitch, fouled back against the fence for strike number 1.
Yeah, they certainly will, and he's one of those special players that can bat an exceptionally high clip, but a great first baseman as well, so it gives you the all-around package, both on the offensive side as well as the defensive side.
Leonard comes set on the mound. Runners on first and second. Mayu holding Bonnin at second. Leonard checks him a couple of times. Kicked and fires the 0-1 pitch. A curveball slapped foul for strike number 2. Shorter field here from Conejo Creek. 320 in left and right down the lines. Left center 365, center 380, 350, and right center. So center field is 20 feet shorter than in Cal Lutheran. Left center is about 15 and left field is 10. Shorter dimensions here makes for a more hitter-friendly ballpark with that wind blowing out towards right center. Runner checks the runner at second. 0-2 pitched out, taken low for ball 1. Cody Stevenson led off the inning here for the Puff Caps with a line out to third. Dante Williams flew out to center. Bryce Bonnin walked. He's standing on second, and Trey Cruz singled. That's how we'll do it for a third straight time at 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Brewser did a nice job of fighting that pitch off. It broke sharply, and as it was dropping in the bottom of the strike zone, Brewser able to clip it with his bat to stay alive in the count.
5 runs, 5 hits here for the Puff Caps. Nothing across the board for the Oaks. Both teams without an error in the top of the second inning. Puff started off over the plate, but tailed off there at the end. Oaks want to thank their sponsors, Roadrunner Shuttle, for taking the Oaks to and from their away games safely. Joseph Sweet Orthopedic Surgeon in Oxnard, California. Cronies Bar and Grill, and Jimmy Don Sandwich. Every sponsor is a part of the Oaks family, and we appreciate their support. 2s across the board, 2 on, 2 strikes, number 3. Puff Caps get a couple runners on, but they'll leave them. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on base. We're through a total of 1.5 innings here from Conejo Creek. Puff Caps lead it 5-0. You're watching Oaks Baseball on KDTV, simulcasted onto YouTube. Middle of the order when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Brandon Lewis leads things off here on the cleanup spot for the Oaks, down 5-0. Welcome back, everybody. He's Jonah Malkin. I'm Jonathan Rifkin. This is Oaks Baseball on KDTV. Is top of the first inning. And here, maintain that lead as the 1-0 pitch runs outside. Lewis, yesterday was the cleanup batter as well and went 1 for 4 with an RBI, with a single and a run scored. 2 flouts and a ground out under his belt as well. 2-0 pitch in. It's popped foul against the screen. Put a strike up on the board now. Lewis batted .419 for Pierce College this past season, along with 23 home runs. Led L.A. Pierce in batting average and home runs. Was committed to CSUN, but decommitted a couple weeks ago and now is looking for a home. 2-1 pitch up and out for ball 3.
Yeah, he's such a talented player. With his type of skill sets, I have no doubt he can find somewhere good to play.
3-1 pitch into Lewis, a high fastball. There are those pink trees and some orange. It almost feels like fall as the payoff pitch runs outside for ball 4. Lewis draws a leadoff walk here for the Oaks. And they get a runner on with nobody away for Chase Cockrell, back after being unavailable the last 2 games in the number 5 spot in California summer time. But seriously, a fall feel at 72 degrees. It is just a phenomenal day. The light breeze. Cockrell from Ole Miss steps in. First pitch from Bibby is a broken bat, slapper into shallow right field. That's going to drop and roll back to the wall, rounding to second. And going to third is Lewis. Throw comes in, keeping Cockrell at first, and a 1-pitch single puts the Ole Miss Rebel at first, brings the Pierce College product to third.
That bat, you don't get the type of distance that he was able to draw from that. Hit that at about the 330 mark out in right center and is able to advance Lewis all the way over to third.
Cody's game went 1 for 3 with a couple of flyouts to right and a double where he eventually scored. First pitch in from Bibby to the lefty is low for ball 1. 5 runs, 5 hits for the Puff Caps. No runs, a hit for the Oaks. No errors on either side. The only game that the Oaks will play at Conejo Creek this season, they'll be in Ventura on Sunday, Santa Barbara on Tuesday, back home on Wednesday, and La Mirada on Thursday. 1-0 pitch runs upstairs for ball 2. Oaks will get to see the catch for their first time on Thursday at Biola University. That'll be a big game because the Cats are trying to catch up to the Riptide in the south. And depending on what happens with the Oaks and the Foresters on Tuesday and Wednesday, respectively, that could be a big game. Bibby deals the 2-0 pitch inside for ball 3. Santana showing the good eye there. In his second year with the Oaks, Hawaii Pacific is his 4th college in 3 years. Coached by Jock Peterson's older brother, Tiger Peterson, who's also the head coach of the Orange County Riptide. 3-0 pitch runs upstairs for ball 4. Santana will walk. Cockrell will advance to second, and the bases are loaded now for the Arkansas Razorback, Jordan McFarland.
Yeah, that was nice patience from Santana. 4 pitches, sends him over to first. And I'll help trim this deficit because it is a 5-0 ball game. But as we've talked about with these dimensions and just the type of offensive firepower that the Oaks have with bases loaded and a nobody out situation, they certainly looked primed to deliver something here in the bottom of the second.
McFarland saw that home run back in the first inning hit by Brennan Beck wave over into left field, so you'd expect him to want to do the same thing here in revenge. Bases loaded as the meeting breaks. Coach Zarelli strides back into the dugout. Santana at first, Cockrell at second, Lewis at third, nobody away, and the Oaks down 5-0. We'll see if McFarland changes that here as Bibby toes the rubber. Takes the sign from Lash behind the plate. Checks that. The Puff Caps. Bryce Bond in right. Dante Williams in center. Tate Soderstrom in left. Nick Bruiser at third. At first. Cody Stevenson at second. Trey Cruz at short. Drew Williams at third. And behind the plate, Tyler Lash on the mound. It's Tanner Bibby as he deals the 1-0 pitch. Taken on the outside corner for strike number 2. Bibby's given up 1 hit, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout on today's game in the bottom of the second inning. Long first 2 innings, 37 minutes in. 0-2 pitch is a curveball foul tipped off of the screen. 2 groundouts and a pop out. looking to change around his game here. Bibby checks loose at third and deals the 0-2 pitch. A curveball waved at and missed for strike three. McFarland strikes out. One away, but the base is still occupied with Milo Beam, the hero in yesterday's game, stepping in. He had that monster 3-run home run over the right field fence at Sparky Anderson that eventually gave the Oaks the win. It was a 1-1 game until he broke the game wide open. The Puff Caps were able to score one more in the game, but the Oaks held on to win 4-2. From Purdue University, first pitch in to him is taken inside but called strike. Looser strike zone here in today's Beam to hit the home run. 0-1 pitch is a curveball at the knees for strike number 2.
Yeah, and quickly Beam already down in the count, 0-2. But trying to generate some offense to put some runs on the board for the Oaks.
Beam steps back in, shoulders that again at no balls and 2 strikes. The Boilermaker very popular among his peers at Purdue University. Want to thank Purdue Baseball for posting our post-game interview with him yesterday on their Twitter as well. 0-2 pitch comes in from Bibby, and his base is still loaded. And Jacob Castro, who had a home run a couple of games ago, will look to drive in at least one more here with the bases loaded once again.
Yeah, nice job from Beam. Delivers once again. Now that's the 4th RBI in the last 2 games for Beam, so he's really stepped up his offensive production for the Oaks.
Cockrell at third, Santana at second. Rio Mesa with a 4.0 GPA. Played under head coach David Solis, so gets some extra experience with his 4-year varsity coach. Bibby checks that runner at third and deals the 1-0 pitch, running outside for ball number 2. Good patience shown here by Castro, and he definitely plays like he's more mature, like he's been in this game a lot longer. He shows a lot of patience.
Yeah, it certainly is, and we give a lot of praise to the Puff Caps for being high school grads, but we fail to recognize at times the level of development and progression that we've seen from Castro, who's also a high school grad.
Headed to Houston from the future Anteater. Base is all occupied. 1 run, 2 hits for the Oaks. 5 runs, 5 hits for the Puff Caps. No errors on either side. 3-1 pitch in from Bibby. It's slapped over to third, caught by Williams. All runners will retreat quickly. Nice catch there from the third baseman. Puts 2 outs up on the board with bases still loaded. And back to the top of the order we go for Jason Oliver as there's a timeout as Lash and Bibby want to talk it over on.
If he could have popped that one up into deep, that could have brought in another run. So fortunately for the Puff Caps, now they can focus in solely on Oliver, and any base will make the play.
Oliver back in the batter's box, 0 for 1 on the day with the ground out to third. First pitch he sees runs low for ball 1. All game with the bases loaded. Oliver looking to extend the inning here with 2 away. 1-0 pitch runs outside for ball number 2. Good eye from Oliver, who has been striking out a lot in the first part of this season, but seemed to have the road runner is popped into shallow right center field. Running in on it is Williams. Running back on it Stevenson, and the center fielder Williams will make the grab for out number 3. Oaks get 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and leave the bases loaded. We're through 2 full here from Conejo Creek. 5-1 our score. You're watching
Now batting.
Top of the third, 5-1 our score. Puff Caps lead it. Welcome back, everybody. He's Jonah Malkin. I'm Jonathan Rifkin. This is Oaks Baseball on KDTV. Drew Williams in the 5 spot will step in here for the Puff Caps. On the day, 1-for-1 with a run scored. First pitch from Wenner, who's back on the mound, is popped foul. Castro will take the look, but it'll go out of play for strike 1. Oaks left the bases loaded. Back in the second inning, they were able to load the bases with nobody away. After a strikeout by McFarland, Beam was able to single in a run, but Castro lined out the third, and Oliver flew out to center, leaving those bases loaded. 0-1 pitch from Wenner is slapped into right center field. That's going to drop for a leadoff single here for the Puff Caps. And they have one on with nobody away once again. They are doing a very good job, Jonah, seeing the field and hitting that ball into no man's land.
Yeah, they certainly are, and they're finding balls that are dropping right in the strike zone for them. And Wenner has to do a better job of giving these Puff Caps some different looks, changing up the location of his pitches and not staying stagnant and becoming predictable.
5 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Puff Caps. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for the Oaks. 0-0 pitch swung and missed by Brandon Beck, who had that fly ball over the left field fence for 3 runs. Guess you could call it a home run. And Cal Lutheran, that would have been caught, believe it or not. But shorter dimensions here at Conejo Creek. 0-1 count. Runner at first, nobody away. Beck headed to Stanford in the fall. Wenner checks the runner at first and deals the 0-1 pitch popped over towards right field, but out of play, and that'll bring the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nice turnout here for both sides. Stands full on the Oaks side, stands full on the Puff Caps side. And the Puff Caps have turned out their fan base, at least, for every single one of these games. This is the 3rd and final game of the series. They definitely travel well based up in NorCal, though some of these players are from Southern California. Nonetheless, if you're an away team and you have a fan base like that, it's hard to complain. 0-2 pitch from Wenner. A fastball out the knees, called strike 3. Beck will take the long walk back to the bench. Second strikeout on the day for Wenner. And there's 1 away now with 1 on for Tate Soderstrom.
Yeah, beautiful pitch from Wenner. Kept that one low. And right over the heart of the plate, catches Beck. Unable to get a bat on that.
Soderstrom, sporting number 27 on his back, steps in, takes a couple of twirls of the bat. And the first pitch in from Wenner is taken on the outside corner for strike number 1. Puff Caps have a day off before they head to Palo Alto to play the Healdsburg Prune Packers in Palo Alto High School. The Oaks will be in Ventura tomorrow to play the Ventura Halos. Wenner nods at Castro, toes the rubber. Pearson fires the 0-1 pitch. A fastball over the heart of the plate, out the knees for strike number 2.
Same identical pitch right there that Wenner threw. The same one he utilized to strike out Beck. Just kept that low over the heart of the plate.
Williams with a little bit of speed at first, but they haven't tested the arm of Castro today. 0-2 count. Wenner checks him. Step and a half lead off of first. 0-2 pitch into Soderstrom is cut over towards the Puff Caps dugout. And we'll do it again at 0 balls and 2 strikes. So far, the series is split 1-1. The Puff Caps took the first game 7-3 2 days ago. The Oaks won yesterday 4-2. Third and final game between these two teams this year. The Oaks took all 3 games last year, including a 14-2 win here at Conejo Creek. 0-2 pitch from Wenner is a curveball in the dirt. Check swing. They're saying he didn't go around, and that'll be ball number 1. Wind picking up a little bit now as it increases to 8 miles an hour with 10 to 12 mile an hour gusts. But the temperature is still beautiful, up at the mid-70s. Wenner will check. Williams at first base, comes set on the mound, towed the rubber, and deals the 1-2 pitch outside for ball number 2.
Yeah, and Wenner's got to be careful because once again he was up in the count 0-2, and he let some of these Puff Caps batters work their way back in the count and ultimately walk them over to first.
Wenner takes the sign once again from his catcher. Castro checks that runner at first base, comes set in the stretch. It fires the 2-2 pitch in, a curveball running inside for ball 3. Full count now. The 5th one on the game in total between these two teams. Wenner trying to work out of this payoff pitch situation. Checks the runner at first, nods, kicks and fires. No, he's going to attempt a pickoff attempt, but Williams slides back safely over to first base. Good deception there from Wenner, but Williams with a nicer jump back to the bag. Payoff pitch once again pending for Wenner. He comes set on the mound in another pickoff attempt, trying to keep Williams close. The Oaks are in double play formation, Mayu and Weinstein, the masters of the double play ball in the CCL. 6 for 7 for a base hit. Soderstrom is now 1 for 2 on the day. Advancing the second is Drew Williams. And there's 2 on now with 1 away for Tyler Lash. 0 for 1 on the day. Grounded out to second his first time up. He was the last out in the first inning, playing catcher in today's game. 5 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Puff Caps. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for the Oaks. As Lash steps in, waves that bat over his left shoulder. 2 on, 1 away here. 5-1 our score. Wenner checks Williams at second. Kicks and fires the first pitch in, and it's hit into shallow center field. That's going to drop. Rounding third and coming up was Williams as Oliver bobbles the ball. He's not going to throw it to the plate in the top of the third inning.
Once again, the Puff Caps just seeing the field really well, knowing when to swing, hitting that one short into shallow center, bringing home now the 6th run.
3 hits in the inning now, only 1 away. Runners on first and second as Solis is going to have a talk with Wenner, Cody Santana, the first baseman, and Jacob Castro, the catcher. Quick meeting, though, as it breaks. We can't see the bullpen here, so we won't be able to give you an indication if somebody's warming up unless we get a sign from our statistician or some of our supporting staff here. But nonetheless, I'd assume Wenner would at least end this inning, unless it's really, really bad. Cody Stevenson steps in now in the number 9 spot. 0 for 1 on the day with a line out to the third baseman. 2 on, 1 away here. 6-1 our score. 8 hits for the Puff Caps to the Oaks 2. They also have an error in the field. They're going to give Jason Oliver an error in center field as the first pitch runs low for ball 1. So I guess Oliver bobbled that ball, and that allowed the run to come around. One ball, 1 strike, 1 away. Runners on first and second here as Stevenson is looking to do some more damage for the Puff Caps. When they are on, they are hard to beat. No wonder they're at 12-2. They actually did lose to the Walnut Creek Crawdads, which are towards the bottom of the CCL. 1-1 pitch, bunt, gets down, and it's going to roll foul.
And try to place that bunt perfectly on that third base line and try and run out the throw to advance the runners potentially. It's a within 1-out situation. It's certainly a smart decision for the Puff Caps, trying to extend their lead.
Leonard trying to keep that ball low and force a double play here. 1-1 already around in the inning. Checks that runner at second base. And there's going to be time called behind the plate. Drew Williams led things off in the third inning for the Puff Caps. He singled, came around to score on the RBI single by Tyler Lash. Brendan Beck struck out after Tate Soderstrom singled. Tyler Lash singled. Now 1-2 count with 1 away here for Stevenson. Waving that bat high over his left shoulder. Wenner deals the 1-2 inside. Called strike 3. A delayed call from the home plate umpire, but nonetheless, Wenner gets him looking for his 3rd strikeout of the game. Second looking, and now there are 2 outs.
Number 2.
Just a beautiful pitch from Wenner. Catching Stevenson looking, and one of the things that makes his pitches so deceptive is that off-speeder. Starts like it's coming in off his arm, like it's going to be in the 80s, and then just drops off into the 70s.
Back to the top of the order we go for Dante Williams. 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a flyout. Takes a low fastball for ball 1. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error for the Oaks. That run that has come around in the inning is unearned. 6 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Puff Caps here in the top of the 3rd inning. Williams headed to the University of Arizona, and the fall went 3 for 5 yesterday. Today 0 for 2, but a chance to redeem himself here. 2-on-2 away, 1-0 count. Pitch runs low for ball number 2. Conejo Creek was a facility owned by the Conejo Valley River Road Park and Recreational District. It was renovated 2 years ago, and they do a phenomenal job here with these facilities, hosted by the Conejo Valley Little League. Now the Oaks having an opportunity to play here. 2-0 pitch. Throw over to Santana is way behind first base where he was actually standing, not expecting the back pick. 3-0 count now to Williams, and Wenner is in danger of loading the bases. With the dangerous part of the order coming up, Bryce Bonin on deck. He's 0 for 0 with 2 walks and a run scored. Trey Cruz in the hole. He's 2 for 2. Wenner toes the rubber on the stretch, checks that runner at second, and deals the 3-0 pitch at the knees for a strike.
Yeah, and Castro's lucky that he was able to throw that just low enough for Santana to catch, because if that would have gone over his head, that could have brought home another run for the Puff Caps.
Runners on first and second, 1 run around in the inning. 6-1 our score. Puff Caps lead it. As Wenner once again comes set on the stretch and deals the 3-1 pitch into Castro, and it's waved foul for strike number 2. So from 3-0 to a full count now, the 6-1 for Wenner on the day. And a big opportunity here. A 5-run lead is still manageable, but the Oaks are still looking at quite an uphill battle. If they can at least keep this lead contained to those 5 runs, that would bode well better for them than if the Puff Caps were able to plate more in this inning. Wenner takes a sign from Castro once again. 3-2 count, 2 on, 2 away here. 5-run game. Williams is going to step out. Over on second base is Tate Soderstrom. Tyler Lash at first with 2 away. The Cal Lutheran right-hander comes set on the mound, checks that runner at second, and pays the payoff pitch. A curveball low for ball 4. An interesting decision here to throw that curveball, trying to get him to swing and miss, but good patience by Williams. Draws a walk. Bases are loaded now. 3 walks given up by Wenner. And Bryce Bonin, who has drawn the other 2 walks, will step in, but first Solis wants to have a conversation with his pitcher, his catcher, and his first baseman, as Wenner's day will be done. Looks like Angus Denton will stride in for the Oaks. We're going to hit a break. Bases are loaded, 2 away, 1 around in the inning. Puff Caps lead at 6-1. You're watching Oaks Baseball on KDTV, simulcasted onto YouTube. We'll be right back. Pitching change for the Oaks here. Riley Jones from Sonoma State takes the rubber for the Oaks. Nate Winter's day is done. First pitch to Bryce Bond and runs inside, but called strike. 0-1 the count. Bases are loaded. Winter on the day went 2 2/3 innings pitched. Gave up 8 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Jones deals the 0-1 pitch outside for ball 1. The side homer plays second base and pitches. He's the brother of Oaks hitting coach Kyle Jones, who is the all-time leader for hitting in Sonoma State. Also the CCL leader in triples. 1-1 pitch is a one-hopper to Mayu at second, over to Weinstein too short, over to Weinstein at second for out number 3. Riley Jones faces one batter here and gets the 1 out he needs. 1 run comes around on the 3 hits, 1 error, 2 left on base. We're through 2.5 here from Conejo Creek. Oaks are down 6-1. You're watching Oaks baseball on KDTV. Simulcasted onto YouTube. We'll be right back. Steps up to the plate for the Oaks in the number 2 spot. 6-1 our score. They'll be back on the mound as Weinstein pops the first pitch he sees into center field, where Williams will greet the ball with a catch. Out number 1. Jonah Malkin, Jonathan Rifkin, Conejo Oaks baseball. Puff Caps lead at 6-1. 1 away quickly here for Grant Mayu. 0-for-1 on the day with a strikeout, looking almost got tossed after mouthing off to the umpire, and he needs to be careful because oftentimes when players get ejected, the league can review it and even suspend them for longer. Bibby deals the first pitch to the Aztec. Popped up, back behind the plate. Lash will make the catch. 2 pitches, 2 outs here, and Bibby really dealing in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Yeah, he's really has great command over his pitches, and the other thing is he's throwing enticing throws into the strike zone that's putting these Oaks batters in a pickle and in a dilemma. Do you want to take the risk and hit a good ball that you know you can swing well on and make contact with, or stay patient? And right now, Bibby's winning that one.
Lewis steps in 0-for-1 on the day with a walk and a run scored. Takes the first pitch on the outside corner for strike number 1. He was the only run that the Oaks were able to plate in today's game. 1 run, 2 hits, and an error for them. 0-1 pitch, skied over to left field. Running back on it is Soderstrom, and he's going to watch it sail over the wall for a home run. Brandon Lewis clears the fences here at Conejo Creek and cuts the lead now to 4. 6-2 the score on his 3rd home run of the season.
Yeah, Brandon Lewis really getting cooking here in the last couple games. Make that his 2nd home run in 3 games, and he single-handedly is trying to bring these Oaks back into this one with a beautiful homer over the left part of the wall.
He has now accounted for both of the Oaks runs as Chase Cockrell steps in. 1-for-1 on the day with a single, but stranded on 3rd his last time up. First pitch to the Ole Miss Rebel, runs low and outside for ball 1. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error for the Oaks. 6 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Pacific Union Financial Capitalists. 1-0 pitch in from Bibby. Runs outside but swung and missed for strike number 1. Cockrell, another big bat. By the way, that home run by Lewis now gives him sole possession for team high in home runs with 3. Cockrell with 2. Frankie Tosado, no longer on the team, who signed with the Giants last week, had 2 as well. 1-1 pitch in the dirt for ball number 2.
Yeah, and Lewis has done a nice job filling that void. When Tostada left, it was going to be, him and Mayu. Everyone collectively had to step up, and Lewis is certainly putting that on his shoulders.
2-1 pitch into Cockrell is skied over to left center field. Dante Williams, the center fielder, will run over it and make the catch for out number 3. The Oaks get 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We're through 3 full here from Conejo Creek Ballpark. Puff Caps lead at 6-2. You're watching Oaks baseball on KDTV, simulcasted onto YouTube. We'll be right back. Back here in the top of the 4th inning, 6-2 our score. My name is Jonathan Rifkin, but for play-by-play of the 4, 5, and 6 innings, my broadcasting partner, Jonah Malkin.
Thank you, Jonathan, and welcome everybody to the top of the 4th. If you're just checking in with us, Riley Jones fires that pitch on the outside for strike 1 to Trey Cruz, who steps in. 2 for 2 on the day with a single and a run scored. Oaks down 6-2 here in the top of the 6th. Puff Caps struck early, plating 5 runs in the first and make that another base hit to lead things off here in the top of the 4th. Trey Cruz saw the gap in center and gets on base early in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, he's seeing the field really, really well. 3 for 3 with a couple of, or a trifecta of singles now, I should say. Phenomenal job giving the Oaks fits and giving these Puff Caps some life early in these innings.
Cleanup spot, Nick Brewster steps in. Already has an RBI single in the first. Riley checks the runner at first. Deals the 0-0. Upstairs for ball 1. Jones, as Jonathan mentioned, versatile player for the Oaks. Has played second base as well as pitched. Usually comes in as a reliever, and that's what he's doing now. The pickoff attempt comes late to first. Brewster, unbelievable prospect coming to play for the Stanford Cardinals in the fall. He was the Max Preps National Player of the Year for this 2017 class. So a really highly touted prospect as the 1-0 pitch runs over the heart of the plate for strike 1. Not to mention he was the Gatorade State Player in their way in the fall. Cruz over at first. Jones sets and fires. They one of 3 catchers that the Oaks utilize, along with Zane Willems and Juan Gonzalez. Castro's really stepped up his play. Single. The 1-2's fouled back, and we'll do it again.
Yeah, he's been seeing the field very, very well. Like we talked about,
competes hard and always has a positive attitude as the pickoff attempt is late over at first. And Jones doing a nice job of discouraging the runners from first to advance and try and steal over to second. 1-2 pitch, chopped over to third base. Lewis will glove it and toss it all the way over to Santana. Not in time. Runner's going to go to third, and Lewis is going to not get there. Or he is going to get him out. Seemed like he might have been safe from our vantage point, but A nice heads-up play. Lewis tried to pick off the runner at first. Santana bobbled it and tossed it back over to him at third. So down goes Cruz at third, and Brewster will get on over at first.
That was a nice heads-up play there from Santana. Count that as a 5-3-5 put-out on Cruz getting out, but another single here for the Puff Caps.
Drew Willems to step in. Takes that pitch low and outside for ball 1. So Brewster is over at first on a play in which both Lewis and Santana were like, no, you take it. No, let's throw it to you.
Hot potato.
Hot potato. 1-0 pitch popped into left field. McFarland going to run underneath it and make the catch for out number 2. And it certainly helps when you have that team chemistry. Both Brandon and Cody have played first base and primarily switch off between one another, so they understand how that type of situation works to perfection.
Yeah, and Santana just an incredibly smart player there at first. The throw was off, but he found a way to salvage it and get the lead runner out. And you'd prefer that instead of having that one out and a runner at third base, now you have one out and a runner at first base.
Brandon Beck, pickoff attempt comes late to first. Beck really blew open this game with a 3 RBI home run in the top of the first. Plated 3 more and extended that lead to 6, to 5. Chops that one in the center. Mayu's going to glove it and toss it to Weinstein for out number 3. So no runs come around on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. Puff Caps lead 6-2 as we're through 3.5 here in Conejo Creek Ballpark. You're watching Oaks Baseball on KDTV, simulcast onto YouTube. We'll take a short break. Cody Santana to lead off for the Oaks here in the bottom of the 4th. Oaks down to the Puff Caps 6-2. As Tanner Bibby still on the mound, deals the first pitch low for ball 1. Santana 0 for 0 on the day, showed patience in the batter's box and drew a walk, which was just the second issued from Bibby as the 1-0 is popped into right. And it's going to sail out of play for 1-1. Remember to go get a raffle ticket. If you do, you get a chance to win an autographed bat from Albert Pujols, Mike Scioscia, Mike Trout, Cole Calhoun, along with other Conejo Oaks merchandise and a gift card.
That is quite a lineup here. I don't know how you wouldn't want to buy a raffle ticket after that.
1-1 curve, grounded to first. Brewster will get it and toss it to Bibby to make the play for out number 1. It's certainly a very special type of treat. I would certainly love to buy a raffle ticket.
The fact that you and I get to sit in the press box, Jonah, and have to stare at a signed bat by Albert Pujols and a ball signed by Cole Calhoun and Mike Trout, and we can't even have the opportunity to get it ourselves. That's how special it is for some of these fans.
McFarland steps in and takes that pitch low and outside for ball 1. It certainly helps when the owner of the team is Mike Scioscia for the Angels, and he is a proud sponsor and likes to showcase his players for fans as the 1-0 pitch cut on and missed for strike one.
And of course, our GM Riley Randy making his presence known today here at Conejo Creek. Definitely want to thank the ABDG board for allowing Jonah and myself to have this job.
1-1 pitch, low for ball two. And while we're thanking people, I'd like to thank all of our sponsors: Roadrunner Shuttle, Stephen Joseph Sweet Surgical Orthopedic Surgery, as the 2-1 pitch drops just above the strike zone for 3-1. Jimmy John's Sandwich and Cronies Bar in Newberry Park. We appreciate all the sponsors, and the Oaks certainly appreciate you for showing your support. 3-1 pitch, blooped into center, into second. Baseman glove Stevenson for out number 2. That one was caught, into Stevenson's glove at second baseman. So that's 2 away here in the bottom of the 4th. Milo Beam, the hero yesterday's game, and has started off impressive as well today with an RBI single in the second, steps back in. 0-0 pitch, taken on the inside for ball 1. Beam, the Purdue Boilermaker. I got a special shout out from his father the other day. It
wasn't really a shout out, but more of a thumbs down.
That's true. 1-1 count after Beam chops that into right territory. Well, you just learn your lesson. Maybe you don't always express happy birthday cheers.
I was going to say, I think
air.
you learned your lesson to sing on
Certainly
air, Jonah.
A questionable decision. 1-1 curveball drops over the heart of the plate beautifully for strike 2. But nonetheless, any interaction on Twitter is more than acceptable. In fact, it's strongly encouraged. We love all the support and interaction that we get. As the 1-2 curveball catches the outside corner for strike 3. So down goes Beam and down goes the inning. That's the second strikeout on the day for Bibby, and the Oaks still down 6-2 against the Puff Caps as we're through 4 full here at Conejo Creek Ballpark. You're watching Oaks Baseball on KDTV. We'll take a short break. Bottom of the order for the Puff Caps, Tate Soderstrom to lead off in the 7th spot. Tyler Lash on deck. And Cody Stevenson in the hole as the Puff Caps lead 6-2 here in the top of the 5th inning at Conejo Creek Ballpark. Riley Jones fires that one. Catches the outside corner for strike 1. Jones on the 1 inning pitched. 1-1 the count. Puff Caps 6 runs on 10 hits and no errors. 1-1 is dealed, cut on and missed for strike 2. It's a nice changeup kept low. Catches Soderstrom swinging. Meanwhile, the Oaks just 2 runs on 3 hits and 1 errors. They've been struggling to generate hits the last couple games. Encouraging sign, Johnny, for the Oaks is that despite not being able to reach the 10-hit mark, they were able to come away with some key victories as the 2-2 pitch is fouled back.
The W is all that matters. So the fact that they only had 8 hits but still got the win shows the resilience of this team, the good pitching, and also the fact they didn't leave a lot of runners left on base.
That pitch is outside to bring the count full at 3-2. That's the 7th full count situation for a Puff Caps batter in today's game alone. Payoff pitch fouled out of play, and we'll do it again. What's impressed, dipped down a bit, but hasn't taken away from the wins that they've been able to acquire. 3-2 pitch is popped up and out of play again, so we'll do the payoff pitch for a 7th time. Soderstrom going to play at Arizona in the fall. 3-2 pitch, catches the game on that one.
Yeah, beautiful pitch from Jones there, able to nick that outside corner. The side armor keeps these batters off balance because of that release, and right there he utilized it to his advantage.
Tyler Lash quickly steps in and takes that pitch outside for ball 1. Taking his talents to Cal State Fullerton, that had an incredible year in the World Series this past season, as that pitch is fouled out of play for strike 1. From Lake Forest, California, was the rookie of the year for his varsity team as a sophomore. So once again, impressive players for them as the 1-1 pitch runs outside for ball 2. He's playing catcher in today's game. That pitch runs inside for strike 2. Caught a fly out from Mayu. Pop-up, I should say. Jones looking to dispatch him here. 2-2 pitch is launched into left, but it's out of play, so we'll do it again. So nobody on and 1 away here in the top of the 5th. Jones sets and fires the 2-2 low, and he's going to come around it for strike 3. So Lash tried to hold back his swing, but the umpire said he got all the way around it, and that's the 2nd consecutive strikeout issued from Jones.
That's one of those times as a batter, you know you shouldn't be swinging, but commit anyways, and once you commit, there's no holding back. That pitch was low from the start, but Lash, even before the pitch was dealt, thought about swinging.
Stevenson quickly runs up and shows bunt for ball 1. He's 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout looking and a line out to 3rd. Takes that pitch over the heart of the plate. For ball 2, close call from the home umpire.
Low pitch there.
2-0 is dealed in and misses for ball 3. So quickly down in the count. That's the first time Jones has been down 3-0 in a count, as that pitch just catches the bottom inside corner of the strike zone for strike 1. The 3-1 pitch fouled out of play to bring the count full at 3-2. Now make that the 8th time a Puff Caps batter has seen a full count situation. Shows the type of patience in the batter's box. Payoff pitch fouled up and away, and we'll do it again. Remember to follow the game on Oaks. Payoff pitch just misses above the strike zone for ball 4.
From top to bottom as opposed to left to right. Jones couldn't get the call.
Will step in 0 for 2 with a strikeout, but did. Beautiful pitch from Jones, catches the inside corner, advance him to 2nd or more. In a 6-2 ball game, pickoff attempt comes late to 1st. Oaks still down 6-2, had an opportunity in that inning, and then Brandon Lewis delivered a solo home run in the bottom of the, strongly discouraging the Puff Caps runners from trying to steal over to 2nd. But ahead in the count, 0-1. Sets and fires. The pitch runs low and inside for ball. Pending Arizona in the fall alongside fellow teammate and starter Tate Soderstrom. So the two of them getting an early dosage. It's a beautiful park, although the dimensions are slightly small here in the Conejo Valley, as the 2-1 pitch is ripped into center for a base hit. Runner's going to come around 2nd. Stevenson going to be with a single and then advance over to 2nd in the top of the 5th.
Number 15, Bryce Bonin.
A nice job overall by the Puff Caps with smart base running, able to get 2 runners in scoring position, as it looks like Riley Jones' day is done.
Conejo Creek Ballpark. Oaks still down 6-2, but looking to change that as we're 2 away here in the top of the 2nd. situation. Runners on second and third, fires that pitch low for ball 1. So Riley Jones's day is done, and 2 innings pitched, gave up 1 hit, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. Here in the top of the 5th, Bryce Bonin to step in with Stevenson at third and Williams at second as he takes that pitch over the heart of the plate for strike 1. Sylvester trying to manage both academics as well as baseball, so hasn't been played a tremendous amount of time this summer, as the 1-0 pitch is grounded to Lewis at third, tossing it over to Santana to first for out number 3. So the Puff Caps on no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left on base still lead the Oaks 6-2 as we're through 4.5 here at Conejo Creek Ballpark. You're watching Oaks baseball on KDTV. Oaks looking to turn the tide here. We'll take a short break.
Castro.
Back here at Conejo Creek Ballpark, Oaks down 6-2 to the Puff Caps here in the bottom of the 5th. Jacob Castro in the 9th spot to lead off and get things started for the Oaks. And a new pitcher on the mound, we'll get that to you in just a moment, as Adam Seminaris steps in. Throws that pitch outside for ball 1. Tanner Bibby's day is done. I'll give you his stats after this pitch. 1-0, runs low for ball 2. Bibby went 4 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, both of which were earned, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. But Seminaris steps in, and the southpaw looking to do some damage here in the bottom of the 5th. 2-0 pitch comes in and ripped into foul territory for strike 1. Seminaris going to play at Long Beach State in the fall, along with fellow teammate Alex Verdugo and Steven Rivas. 2-0 pitch tipped against the fence left. Tate Soderstrom, Dante Williams in center, Bryce Bonin in right. We'll provide you the infield in just a moment. 2-2 curveball is popped into right field, and Bonin gonna get underneath it and make the catch for out number 1. In the infield for the Puff Caps, Drew Williams over at third, Trey Cruz at short, Cody Stevenson at second, Nick Brewster at first, Seminaris on the mound, and Tyler Lash behind the dish as Jason Oliver will step in. Popped into right field. Bonin gonna get underneath it and make the catch in foul territory for out number 2. So quickly, 2 flyouts puts 2 away here for the Oaks here in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, Oliver not happy with this one, and for good reason. Just enough room for Bonin to glide over in right and make the catch. And I would be frustrated too if I was a batter. Got a good grip on it, but a little bit too late. And if there was just about 4 feet less of space, Bonin wouldn't have had that catch.
Weinstein steps in. Swings on the first pitch he sees, and he fouls that one into right territory. Runners are going to go. Bonin going to make the grab once again. So Bonin stepping up on the defensive end, gets 3 flyouts. He makes a grab on and quickly 3 up, 3 down for the Oaks as they still trail 6-2. We're through 5 full here at Conejo Oak Creek. Puff Caps looking to extend this lead as we head into the top of the 6th. Top of the sixth here at Conejo Creek Ballpark. Buff Caps leading the Oaks 6-2 heading into the top of the sixth. Puff Caps on the Oaks. Steps in and fires that fastball away and outside for ball one. Sylvester, the Cal State Northridge product, in his second season with the Oaks, looking to continue to build on his skills
This past year, but had a phenomenal first 2 years with Iowa Western when he played community college. Actually won a junior college national championship with the team and was one of the best pitchers.
Trey Cruz lays off that pitch for ball three. Cruz is an impressive 3 for 3. That drops in the strike zone for strike one. It's quieted down a bit here in the Conejo Valley. The 3-1 pitch runs low.
Yeah, good patience. Sylvester overextended on that fastball. It came low inside in the dirt. And now Speedy Cruz over at first base with nobody away as an opportunity.
He's an impressive 3 for 5 in the last 2 games for the Puff Caps. 0-0 fastball runs upstairs for ball one. That pitch nearly clipped the top of the strike zone, but couldn't bring it down a bit. But he's putting some.
Sylvester looked like Brewster was looking for a breaking pitch. Swung was super late on that fastball, and that is a good sign. Sylvester trying to keep these pitches within the.
Over at first due to the walk. Nick Brewster stepping in, and Drew Williams on deck. Another pickoff attempt comes late, and maybe that's a strategy employed from Coach Solis, because that's the 3rd consecutive pitch.
A fast base runner on first base. You want to make sure that they know that you're paying attention to them. And as a pitcher, the last thing you want to do with nobody away is get a runner in scoring position. So Sylvester's being very smart here, trying to keep Cruz close to first base.
And the count 1-2. Here comes the pitch. Fouled back. Sylvester, the 3rd rotational pitcher in today's game. Riley Jones came in as reliever, and Nate Wenner started. 1-0 pitch taken below the strike zone for ball two. Sylvester just played 1 game for Cal State Northridge, but had a 6.23 ERA. And make that the 9th 3-2 count we've had in this game. So exceptional patience from the Puff Caps has resulted nicely for them as they still lead 6-2. Payoff pitch dealt in, taken outside for ball 4, and Castro's going to hold his throw over to second.
Yeah, Sylvester not happy with himself there. Fastball on the outside corner, and he's only been pitching 1 inning the entire season, so I'd assume if he can at least get another out, he will be pulled. They're keeping him on a short leash until at least next week, because he is balancing his summer school with the patience to display the confidence that he's been building as a pitcher. At the end of the day, you have to pretend like there's nobody on base in a tie ball game, or you play like you're always down.
Drew Williams will step in the 0-0 pitch. The runs below Castro on the ground, and runners will advance over to second and third. So Cruz going to third, and Brewster over at second on the wild pitch.
Yeah, that pitch low and inside, and now Solis is going to stride out to the mound and have a conversation with his pitcher of mass, but he has been working out, and his work ethic is incredible. He goes to the gym every day. He works up before games, and he has just become a behemoth of a human being. Also one of the nicest guys on the team. Loves his barbecue, though. Has his mom send him barbecue sauce from Kansas City, where he's from, every couple of weeks, because you just don't get Kansas City barbecue out here in the Conejo Valley.
Yeah, there are a couple guys on the team who really missed kind of that home cooking. Zane Willems as well.
I would miss a home cooking anyways, just in general, so I assume all of them, but he's the only one that actually does something about it.
1-0 pitch from Sylvester, fired in, runs inside for ball 2. So runners on second and third, nobody away. The Puff Caps from Castro fires the fastball just outside for ball 3. So for the 2nd consecutive time, Sylvester faces a 3-0 count. Not the way you want to start off the top of the 6th. Runners on second and third, nobody away. Sylvester deals the 3-0, runs outside once again for ball 4, and that's the 3rd consecutive walk issued from Sylvester to bring the bases loaded.
Yeah, it looks like he's in his own head a little bit after that first walk, pitching away from batters, and there you saw that pitch, 2 consecutive pitches outside. All fastballs that he's been going to, but it hasn't been boding well. A little bit of overextension, trying not to be aggressive, and that doesn't bode well. He is a very smart pitcher, though. We'll see if he can get out of the jam.
And it doesn't help Brandon Beck stepping in as he takes that pitch low and in the ground for ball 1. Beck 1 for 3, but delivered a 3-run homer over the left part of the wall in the first that blew up the lead and gave the Puff Caps a 5-0 advantage. So bases loaded, and Beck up in the count 1-0. Sylvester deals the pitch, catches the outside corner for strike 1.
That was a good pitch there from Sylvester. Good sidearm action on that pitch. Able to nick that outside corner. He needs to be careful, though, because if he decides to go inside, he can leave.
We've seen firsthand. Sylvester fires the 1-1 that runs way outside for ball 2. Nice adjustment from Castro to corral that and prevent any runners from advancing again. On base, Nick Brewster, 2-1 pitch, tapped out of play for strike 2. Drew Williams over at first, Brewster at second, Trey Cruz over at third, and the fellow Stanford Cardinal looking to deliver once again for the Puff Caps. Already has 3 RBIs on the day. Sylvester takes the sign from Castro. Checks the runners and fired the 4th consecutive time he's he's facing a walk once again. Here comes the payoff pitch.
Just nick that outside part of the line, causing it to be foul. But if it was a quarter of a second later on the swing, or earlier, double.
Oaks dodge a bullet on that one, but they haven't dodged the inning. Base is still loaded. Nobody away. 3-2 count. Payoff pitch comes, chopped over to Lewis at third, tossed to Castro at home plate, and that's going to retire 1 run.
Good fielder's choice there from Lewis, able to get on that 1 hop and get it to Castro. There was no relay for the double play, but that's okay. A good heads up.
Lewis tossed. Really a crucial cease in time and to hone some of their skills.
Trying to get back on track, but it also is a double against the Foresters. These players need to be there.
Here in the top of the 6th, that's the first strikeout for Sylvester, and the
pitch there from Sylvester, 3 fastballs.
Will step in and lay off that pitch that just missed, but had an RBI single in the 3rd. Lash also 7th save on the season. Tyler Lash delivers a grand slam.
And that is what happens when you play in a ballpark that was thrown right down the middle. He swung on it, popped it way up, and there was no chance.
Given the bases were loaded, Stevenson quickly pulls back for the ball inside. Stevenson misses above the strike zone for ball 2. That was actually a 2-0 pitch. Fired way upstairs and quickly down 3-0.
Sylvester throwing a lot of pitches in this inning, and all to give up those 4 runs on 1 swing of the bat after getting 2 outs.
That'll bring Stevenson over at first and back to the top of the order for the Puff Caps. Dante Williams will step in. Sylvester trying to just get out of this inning as he throws the pick off back to first. There's a brief optimistic showing when they retire and misses the corner for ball 1. Not to say anytime you give up a grand slam it isn't costly, but especially in a game
you're
that
up like 20-0 maybe, but yeah.
Especially in a game that was manageable at 4 runs, but is now ballooned to 8. Sylvester sets and fires the 1-0, and will advance over to second on the wild pitch. And that's the second wild pitch from Sylvester in this inning. So Puff Caps lead to 10-2. 12 hits and no errors. Oaks 2. And it's certainly tough, Johnny, for pitchers because, as we've mentioned, the dimensions of these any part of the wall may not have actually gone over the Cal Lutheran wall, but it's just something the pitchers have to deal with.
Right, the pitchers need to adjust their game to deal with the fact that they're shorter walls.
2-1 for them, but that's just the understanding coming into the game that, hey, the dimensions are shorter. We have to be more efficient in our location. The fifth walk issued from Sylvester on the day.
Fifth walk, and now Solis is going to pull him with the bases occupied at first and second, and that was just a rough outing overall for Mr. Sylvester.
Gave up 1 hit, but 4 runs, 4 earned, 5 walks, and 1 strikeout. We'll get you information on the new Oaks pitcher in just a second, but the Oaks now in a tough situation, down 10-2 as we're still in the top of the 6th. Bryce Bonin, the 9th batter in the order for the Puff Caps. 1 successful base hit would complete an entire order, which would just be the 3rd time all season that the Oaks have let opposing teams complete a full order. As they trail 10, they're up 10-2 here in the top of the 6th. Travis Craven will step in for Jacob Sylvester. Craven fires the 1-0 that just drops below the strike zone for ball 2. 2 walks and a run scored, up in the count 2-0. Craven checks the runner at first, fires that pitch below, and once again 3-0's the count. So the pace has died down a bit here in the top of the 6th after 4-5 loaded once again. So Stevenson over at third, Williams at second, and Bonin over at first, and that will complete the order, an entire order for the Puff Cats. The 3rd one surrendered by the Oaks as Trey Cruz pops that one back against the fence for strike 1.
Batting around are the Puff Caps. This is the 2nd time they batted around in the series. They batted around in that 3rd inning back in game number 1 of the series as well, and also the Coastal Cubs did it in the 2nd game of the entire season against the Oaks.
Cruz steps in, 0-1. Craven fires the curveball, can't drop on the outs on the top of the strike zone for ball 1. Cruz led off for the Puff Caps in this inning with a walk. Swung on and missed for strike 2. He would advance over to second, but then get tagged out or advance all the way to third, but get tagged out from Lewis throwing it to Castro for the first out of that inning. So bases loaded. Craven fires the 0-2 curveball, popped up into shallow right, and getting underneath it is gonna be Beam to make the catch and finally end the inning. So the Puff Caps score 4 runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 3 left on base. And the Oaks now battling an uphill climb, down 10-2 as we head into the bottom of the 6th. You're watching Oaks baseball on KDTV, simulcast onto YouTube. Another scoring avalanche for the Puffcats brings the lead to 8 as they lead 10-2 here in the bottom of the 6th. Grant Mayu steps in, takes that pitch inside for ball 1. Tyler Lash delivered the grand slam that gave the Puffcats that lead as that pitch is tapped into the glove for strike 1. Adam Simoneris still on the mound for the Puffcats. Hasn't given up anything in his limited time. He sets and fires the 1-1. Mayu pops that deep into left. That's back at the wall, and that one is gone. Grant Mayu, looking to get the Oaks back in this game, delivers a solo home run to get things started here in the bottom of the 6th, and the Oaks now down 10-3.
Oh, Mayu showcasing that power. Able to swing on a beautiful 1-1 pitch for a beautiful home run over that 365 part in left center field. His second of the season, and he struck out that first at-bat, and he's really been struggling. 0 for 11 coming into that at-bat and really changing things around and launching one.
Brandon Lewis will step in and pop that quickly. Shallow in the infield, running underneath it is Stevenson for out number 1. So Mayu provided perhaps slight optimism for the Oaks here in the bottom of the 6th, just looking to trim their way and claw their way back into this game to bring it into manageable territory to strike.
It's rough though, John. And manageable is a rough kind of ambiguous word here.
Cockrell takes that one outside for ball 1.
Just because it is a 7-run game in the bottom of the 6th inning, which means they would only have technically three more opportunities to come back. They really need to do some damage here.
Swung on and missed for strike 2, so Cockrell quickly down the count 0-2. He's 1 for 2 on the day with a flyout and a single with nobody on and 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th. 0-2 pitch, cut on and missed for strike 3, so make that 2 away now, as Cockrell is retired, and that's the first strikeout on the day from Simoneris.
Yeah, beautiful curveball there on the outside corner. Started up at the shoulders. Cockrell thought he'd get a handle on it, but swung right through it. Ended up going down swinging.
Cody Santana, the Hawaii Pacific Shark, steps in, waves that bat over his left shoulder, takes that pitch outside on the outside corner for strike 1. Santana 0 for 1, but does have a walk as well. And he quickly swings on the 0-1, pops that one deep into left, but getting underneath it and making the catch is Soderstrom to end the inning. So brief optimism. Grant Mayu led off with a solo home run, but a flyout, a strikeout, and a flyout ends the inning as the Oaks put 1 run around on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. And they're down 10-3 as we're through 6 full here at Sparky Anderson Field. You're watching Oaks baseball on KDTV. We'll take a short break.
Nick Bruiser.
Top of the 7th here at Conejo Creek Ballpark. Oaks down the Puff Caps 10-3, and for the final 3 innings of play-by-play, my broadcasting partner, Jonathan Rifkin.
Thank you, Jonah. Beautiful job as always. Travis Craven back on the mound for the Oaks, down 10-3 here. Nick Bruiser, 2 for 3 with 2 singles, an RBI, 2 runs scored, a walk, and a pop-out in 4 trips. The 1-0 pitch runs outside for ball number 2. Craven came into this game for Jake Sylvester in the same categories for the Oaks. The 2-0 pitch is popped over to right, but out of play, but a strike on the board. Craven, 1 of 2 Oaks. 2-1 pitch in from Craven is a fastball on the outside corner for strike number 2. The southpaw dealing here, trying to keep the Puff Caps from expanding their lead up 7 right now. Grant Mayu had a home run in the bottom of the 6th to cut it just a little bit. 2-2 pitch popped with us at Conejo_Oaks on Twitter. He's at Jonah_Malkin. I'm at Johnny Riff with 1 F at the end. Or chat with us in the YouTube live chat box. In the upper right-hand corner, 2-2 pitch dealt in from Craven once again as a curveball popped foul. So for the 3rd straight time, we'll do it at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And now Travis Craven, the 4th Oaks pitcher on the day, looking to try to keep the Puff Caps lead at bay. 10-3 the score. Craven deals the 2-2 pitch once again. A fastball running up and away for ball 3. Lay of the land here for the Oaks. Milo Beeman right. Grant Mayu at short. Jason Oliver in center. Out and left is Jordan McFarland. Rest in the field in just a moment. Payoff pitch runs in the dirt for ball 4. Brewster gets a leadoff walk here for the Puff Caps. The second one drawn on the game by Craven. Runner at first, nobody away. Over at first, Cody Santana. Max Weinstein at second. Grant Mayu at short. Third base is occupied by Brandon Lewis, and Jacob Castro still behind the dish. Bet Bergano is going to come in as a pinch hitter in place of Drew Williams. Came in yesterday as a pinch hitter as well in the number 9 spot. Ended up going 1 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts and a stolen base. Swings that bat over his right shoulder. First pitch, he lays off outside for ball 1. Bergano hit to Cal State Fullerton in the fall. Got to start the first game at second base today. Coming in for Williams, who ended his day 2 for 3 with 3 runs scored, 2 singles, and a walk. 1-0 pitch outside. Back pick attempt is not in time. 2-0 count now to Bergano. Probably take over at third base once the Puff Caps take the field in the bottom half of the top half of the inning. Top of the 7th, 10-3 our score. As Mayu wants to have a conversation with his pitcher. Eric Ma, the other pitcher from Whitman College, as Castro has a conversation with our home plate umpire. Puts that mask back on. Craven toes the rubber, checks that runner at first base, comes set. On the stretch and fires the 2-0 pitch at the letters, but called ball 3-0 the count. Long game here from Conejo Creek, top of the 7th inning, 2 hours and 9 minutes in. As Craven down in the count 3-0 has already allowed 2 walks in today's game, deals at the belt for a strike, 3-1 the count.
Yeah, and unfortunately for the Oaks pitching today, they've fallen behind in the count 3-1 on a number of occasions.
Craven deals 3-1 pitch, a fastball on the outside corner, swung and a missed for strike number 2. Full count now for the Whitman College product. Trying to work his way back after being down in the count 3-0. Comes set on the stretch, fires the payoff pitch, and it's fouled back against the fence right in front of us. And we'll do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Oaks will be in Ventura tomorrow to face the Ventura Halos in game number 4 of the season. Oaks lead the season series 2-1 in that one on a 5-4 win last Monday. Payoff pitch once again is ripped into shallow left field for a single. Advancing over to second base is Bruiser on the play, so a good hit there from Bergano coming in as a pinch hitter. Able to put 2 on with nobody away here. The first hit given up by Craven on the day, the 13th overall for the Puff Caps, as Castro's going to stride out to the mound and have a conversation. Brandon Beck steps in now. After tomorrow's game against the Halos at 4:30, the Oaks will have a day off on Monday before opening up a 2-game series against the Foresters. They'll be in Santa Barbara on the 4th of July. And then the Foresters will come to Cal Lutheran on Wednesday before the Oaks head to La Mirada to take on the SoCal Catch at Biola University on Thursday. Puff Caps have a day off before heading to Palo Alto to play the Healdsburg Prune Packers at Palo Alto High School. Craven deals the first pitch to Beck in the dirt for ball one. Beck on the day. 1 for 4 with a 3-run home run back in the first inning. A strikeout looking in the third. A ground out to short in the fourth and a fielder's choice over to third back in the 6th inning. 1-0 pitch runs at the knees for a strike.
Yeah, and typically the hits is pretty indicative of the outcome of the game, but interestingly for the Puff Caps, 2 hits have actually led to 7 runs. So without 2 hits, this game could have been tied.
Craven checks the runner at second and deals the 1-1 pitch. Cut on a miss for strike number 2. He's now ahead in the count. 2 walks and a hit given up in the inning, or on the day for Craven, the 4th Oaks pitcher. This lead hold, Nate Wenner would get the loss. Seminaris would get the win. 1-2 pitch is a curveball inside for ball number 2. Time is called as Craven asks for a new baseball. This seems popped out a little too much. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody away. Runners on first and second. 10 runs, 13 hits, no errors for the Puff Caps. 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the Oaks. 2 runs by way of Brandon Lewis, 1 by Grant Mayu. 2-2 pitch from Craven is dealt in the dirt for ball 3.
And that's the 13th now. Full count situation for the Oaks pitchers and the Puff Caps.
Craven comes set on the rubber and deals the payoff pitch upstairs for ball 4. That's going to walk Brandon Beck over to first base. Load the bases up now for Tate Soderstrom. 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts, a ground out and a single. This situation, there was a grand slam, so let's hope that history does not indeed repeat itself here for the Puff Caps. And Craven, after having a quick conversation with head coach David Solis, is back on the mound. Toes the rubber, peers forward. Castro comes set behind the plate. That one's going to drop. Coming in is 1 run, rounding third and coming home is Pagano again. The throw comes in, not in time. And that is a 2 RBI single from Tim Towell on the first pitch he sees. The Puff Caps take
Tyler
on the offensive end, staying patient in the batter's box, waiting for pitches they like. They've just done a fantastic job. They've controlled this game right from the opening inning. They poured 5 runs in the first and now 4 in the second, 2 in the 7th.
Tyler Lash steps in and fouls the first pitch he sees over into left field. Lewis at third base going to make an attempt at it, but it's going to go out of play for strike number 1. Over at first is Tim Towell. At second is Brandon Beck. Nobody away. Already 2 runs around in the inning. Lefty on lefty matchup here. 12 runs, 14 hits, no errors for the Caps. 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the Oaks. As the Capitals catcher steps back in, waves that bat over his left shoulder in a clockwise formation. Craven comes set on the rubber and fires, though. 1 pitch, a curveball way upstairs for ball number 1. Oaks facing their largest deficit of the season. 15-7 was their worst loss to the Riptide earlier in June. 1-1 pitch from Craven as a fastball popped up over towards third. Blocking the sun is Lewis with his glove, and he is going to make his way back in the infield to make the catch, even though it is an infield fly rule for out number 2. 2 away now, 2 on, 2 around it, or excuse me, 1 away now.
Cody Stevenson.
One away, 2 on, 2 around, 12-3 our score. Puff Caps really pouring it on the Oaks here. As number 9 hitter Cody Stevenson steps in and takes a pitch low for ball 1. On the day for Stevenson, 0 for 2 with a lineout, a strikeout looking, and 2 walks. He was stranded on third back in the last inning. Craven on the stretch from the belt deals the 1-0 pitch upstairs for ball number 2. On the day for Craven thus far, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, no strikeouts. Batters on first and second. Before him, Sylvester went an inning, gave 1 hit, 4 runs, 5 walks, and 1 strikeout. Oaks, after having a 15 strikeout day yesterday, are struggling here. 2-0 pitch runs upstairs for ball 3. The Oaks capped their season high in strikeouts yesterday, and if they get 2 more walks, they'll have matched their season high in walks. So a lackluster performance from the mound for the Oaks today compared to yesterday when it was a pitcher's duel. Craven comes set on the stretch. The 3-0 pitch is a fastball at the knees for a strike. 3-1 the count now. 12-14-0 on the board for the Caps. 3-4-1 on the board for the Oaks here on the top of the 7th. Still at Conejo Creek. Only time these two teams will be here. 3-1 pitch ripped on and missed for strike number 2. A nice fastball on the outside corner. Now the count is full here for Craven. On deck, Dante Williams in the hole. Bryce Bonin, if we can get that far. Number 9 hitter in. Payoff pitch is ripped over to right field. Running back on it is Beam, and he'll make the catch short of the wall for out number 2. Runner's tag, though, from second to third. So Brandon Beck is over at third base. Staying at first was Tim Tawa. And that is a sacrifice fly out to right as Dante Williams at the top of the order steps in on the day for the future Arizona Wildcat. 1 for 3 with 2 walks. Runners at the corners, 2 away now. The lefty steps in. The lefty on the mound comes set and fires the first pitch, a fastball on the outside corner for strike number 1.
Yeah, nice pitch on the outside for Craven. And one of his strengths is in location. Does a nice job placing pitches, only where his catchers can glove them.
0-1 pitch from Craven is a curveball laid beautifully in there for strike number 2. Craven ahead in the count for the first batter in the last 4 he's faced. This is the 7th batter of the inning as Williams steps back in wearing the green knee-high socks, waves that bat over his left shoulder. The 0-2 pitch is in the dirt, blocked by Castro behind the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. Runners at the corners, 2 away, 2 around in the inning. Puff Caps lead 12-3. Wind picking up towards right now. It was blowing towards right center. Similar makeup of the ballpark here as Sparky Anderson Field. 1-2 pitch popped high towards shallow center field. Lining up on it is Oliver, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. Nonetheless, though, the Puff Caps strike for 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. We're through 6.5 here from Conejo Creek Ballpark. 7th inning stretch time. Grab a cold beverage and a hot dog or a hamburger or whatever. Jordan McFarland for the Oaks steps in the number 7 spot. Adam Simonaris still out there as the first pitch to the fires the 1-0 pitch, popped foul back against the fence. 1-0 the count. Oaks down 12-3 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Pitch in the dirt for ball 2. Milo Beam and Jacob Castro also due up in the inning, number 2.
Yeah, unfortunately the game kind of got away from the Oaks in that top of the 6th.
2-2 pitch in the field. Bogando takes over at third, and Tim Tawa takes over in left for Coach Zarelli's squad.
Now batting, number 30, Milo Beam.
Milo Beam is going to step in now with 1 away. Oaks down by 9 here. 15-7 was their largest loss of the season, but the Puff Caps up by 9, threatening to hand them an even worse loss. Beam on the day, 1 for Beam. Yesterday in the number 8 spot, went 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, but a 3-run home run that eventually went outside for ball 1. Oaks are on the road the next 2 games before being at home on Wednesday. 1-1 pitch is ripped over to first, gloved by Brewster. He's going to toss it over to Seminaris in time for out number 2. 3-1 put out for those keeping score at home. And 2 quick outs up on the board now for Jacob Castro in the number 9 spot.
Yeah, the Puff Caps have just done a nice job of sticking with the process, staying patient, and not making any errors in the infield, just taking care of business. And right now they are in absolute cruise control as we're in the bottom of the 7th.
Castro steps in 0 for 2 with a lineout and a flyout. Pops the first pitch he sees foul for strike number 1. Lay of the land for you here for the Puff Caps. Bryce Bonin in right, Dante Williams in center, Tim Tawa in left, Bogano at third, Trey Cruz at short, Cody Stevenson at second, Nick Brewster at first, Tyler Lash behind the plate. 0-1 pitch from Adam Seminaris, runs outside for ball 2, or ball 1 actually, excuse me. 1-1 the count, 2 away here, bottom of the 7th inning. The first hit by a pitch that we have seen in today's game. 2 away, and the Oaks have a base runner. Back to the top of the order we go for Jason Oliver.
Yeah, and that's why Castro likes wearing that
Now batting, number 21,
kind of protection pad on his elbow.
First pitch from Seminaris is popped back against the fence. Oliver was used in limited duty the last couple of games as a pinch runner, one of the fastest for the Oaks. Smart IQ on the base path as well. Has done a good job limiting his strikeouts as of late, but he really struggled with that aspect of his game early in the season. Seminaris comes set and deals the 0-1 pitch inside, past the glove of Lash. Castro advances to second, and I think that's going to be a pass ball, not a wild pitch, because Lash did have it in his glove, but mishandled it. Nonetheless, the Oaks have a runner in scoring position now with 2 away, and a 1-1 count to the Cal State Bakersfield Roadrunner. Max Weinstein waiting on deck in the hole. Grant Mayu, should we get that far? Seminaris deals the 1-1 pitch to Oliver, and it's popped foul out of play. 1-2 the count now.
Yeah, that was a tough pitch to swing on. Seminaris did a nice job keeping it upstairs. And at that point, Oliver was just trying to fight that one off. Couldn't really make full contact with his bat.
Lash mishandled it, but is able to corral it and toss it over to first. Strikeout, put out, 3 away here. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left on base. We're through 7 full here from Conejo Creek. Oaks down 12-3. You're watching Oaks Baseball on KDTV. We'll be right back. Back here from Conejo Creek, Jonah Malkin, Jonathan Rifkin. Oaks down 12-3 in the top of the 8th as Ty Harper now steps in. The new pitcher on the day, Travis Craven, went an inning strong. Gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, and no strikeouts as Bryce Bonin steps in and takes a first pitch on the outside corner for strike number 1. 12 runs, 14 hits, no errors for the Puff Caps. 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the Oaks as Harper now deals the 0-1 pitch in the dirt for ball 1. Harper now from Texas Tech, along with fellow pitcher Erickson Lanning, who started yesterday's game and had a rough outing. Deals the 1-1 pitch at the belt, but outside for ball number 2. Oaks would like to thank their sponsors, Roadrunner Shuttle, for getting the Oaks to and from their away game safely, as the 2-1 pitch runs outside for ball 3. Stephen Joseph Sweet, orthopedic surgeon in Oxnard, California, is Harper now deals the 3-1 pitch low for ball 4. First walk given up by the Texas Tech Red Raider on the first pitch, on the first batter he sees. The 12 walks now given up by the Oaks as a whole on today's game. That's a rough number. Finish off the sponsors real quick as Trey Cruz steps in. Cronies Bar and Grill and Jimmy John's Sandwiches. The first pitch is whipped over into left field and just glides foul for strike number 1. On the day for Cruz, headed to Rice in the fall. 3 for 4 with a walk, 3 singles, a run scored, and a fly out to right.
Number 22, Zach Presno, attending Fresno State in the fall.
That actually looks like Zach Presno is stepping in. I don't know if he's pinch hitting or pinch running. The numbers are a little bit skewed. We'll give that to you in just a moment. Yeah, he is pinch hitting. So it actually is Zach Presno and not Trey Cruz in the batter's box. That was not relayed to us by the umpiring crew. 0-1 pitch low for ball 1. Saw Presno behind the plate yesterday for the Puff Caps. He batted in the 5th spot and ended up going 0 for 2 with a couple walks and a stolen base. 0-1 pitch is a one hopper over to Weinstein, and he throws it over to Mayu, but on top of the glove. And Mayu can't corral it. That's going to be an error. Runners are safe at first and second base, and the dynamic duo mishandles a rare, easy out in the infield.
Now batting, number 24.
Yeah, and unfortunately for the Oaks, it just kind of epitomizes the type of lackluster performance that they've had all day. Those are typical plays that normally lead to at least an easy 1 out. But that time, can't get anything.
Nick Bruiser steps in now in the cleanup spot and takes a pitch low for ball 1 on the day. For Bruiser, has reached base all but one time. 2 for 3 actually, with 2 walks, 3 runs scored, an RBI, and a pop out. Harper now checks that runner at second and deals the 1-0 pitch upstairs for ball number 2. Headed towards our 2.5 hour of play here, 2:31 local time. First pitch was at 12 o'clock on the spot. 2-0 pitch to Bruiser, dealt by Harper now, runs low once again, 3-0 the count. 3 runs, 4 hits, 2 errors for the Oaks. 12 runs, 14 hits, no errors for the Puff Caps. The Puff Caps in this series have only committed, actually they haven't committed an error the entire series. The 3-0 pitch is low, 4-pitch walk drawn by Bruiser. Harper now walks 2 in the inning now. Bases are loaded for a 3rd time in today's game with nobody away for Brett Bogano on the day. 1 for 1 with a single and a run scored back in the 7th inning. Harper now in a jam now, deals the first pitch, popped foul out of play for strike number 1. Bases are loaded. Bondin at 3rd, Presno at 2nd, and Bruiser at 1st. By the way, only 1 run, or one of these runs would not be earned if all 3 came around to score, as Presno on second base reached on an error. Check that, it was actually Bruiser reached on error. Nonetheless, 1-1 the count as that pitch bounced into the chest of Castro.
Yeah, and just unfortunate situation right now for the Oaks. Bases loaded, nobody away. Top of the 8th, already a 12-3 lead. At this point, it would just be extra devastating.
1-1 pitch, waved at and missed for strike number 2.
Not to mention, especially for the psyche of these Oaks players, a lot of these guys are seniors and juniors and well-respected players, and when you're losing to high school grads, sometimes that is deflating.
1-2 pitches, a 1 hopper to short. Mayu to Weinstein at second, over to Santana at first, not in time. Run comes in to score on the fielder's choice. They get 1 out at second. Advancing to third on the play is Presno, and the lead is now extended to 10, 13-3. So RBI fielder's choice there. 6-4 for those keeping score at home. Brewster is sent back to the bench. Presno at third, and Brendan Beck steps in and takes the first pitch for a ball. On the day for Beck, excuse me, 1 for 4 with a walk, a home run into fielder's choice, a strikeout and a ground out. 1-0 pitch glides at the knees for a strike. 1-1 the count. Runners at the corners, 1 around in the inning, actually 2 around in the inning, excuse me, and 1 on, 1-1 pitch, runs outside for ball number 2. It says 2 up on the board, but I think it only 1 has come around in the inning, if I'm not mistaken. As a 2-1 pitch is cracked over to right center field, Oliver running over to it, and he can't make the catch as he runs into the wall. Coming in and scoring is Presno. Following him from first is Bogano. The throw comes in, and Oliver is really shaken up out there in right as he hit that wall really, really hard. Puff Caps take a 16-3 lead here, but he kind of shakes it off after taking that tough hit. Now 15-3 the score as he is okay. Runner at second base in the form of Brennan Beck. Gets 2 more RBIs. He now has 5 on the game. 15-3 Puff Caps lead it with Tim Tawa stepping in.
Yeah, Oliver trying to make a play, laid out fully on that, and then unfortunately ran into the wall. Hopefully he's okay.
First pitch of Tawa drops in low for ball 1. Brendan Beck at second. 3 runs around in the inning here for the Puff Caps. In the third and final game of the series, 15-3 the score. Harpenau deals the 1-0 pitch at the knees for a strike. 1-1 the count. 15 runs, 15 hits, no errors for the Puff Caps. 3 runs, 4 hits, 2 errors for the Oaks as Harpenau deals the 1-1 pitch. Skied into center field where Oliver will glide over and make the catch for out number 2. That shows that he's okay. Glad to see that. 2 away now for the number 8 hitter bat in the lineup. Tyler Lash on the day, 2 for 5 with 5 RBIs. A grand slam back in the 6th inning. A strikeout and 2 flyouts. Lash headed to Cal State Fullerton in the fall. A phenomenal young catcher. A lot of potential. Harpenau deals the first pitch to lefty, too far inside for ball number 1. Harpenau, the 5th Oaks pitcher on the day. Leonard led off. Jones followed him. Sylvester in the 3 spot in the pitching order. Craven and now Harpenau. 1-0 pitch. Runs low and outside for ball number 2. Two-0 count. Infield playing deep as Harpenau deals outside and low once again for 3-0 count. Well behind now. And the Oaks really extending this game unnecessarily. We're only in the top of the 8th inning, down 15-3. 3-0 pitch runs upstairs. 4-pitch walk drawn by Lash. He heads over to first base. 3rd walk given up by Harpenau, and now Cody Stevenson into the number 9 spot will get an opportunity to bat with 2 away and runners at first and second base. On the day for Stevenson, 0 for 2 with 2 walks, a sacrifice, a strikeout, and a lineout. Takes a fastball over the heart of the plate for strike number 1. Lash at first. Beck at second. 2 away, 3 around in the inning. 15-3 our score. Puff Caps lead the Oaks. 0-1 pitch. Runs low and inside for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 away for Cody Stevenson. Headed to San Jose State in the fall. As the 1-1 pitch from Harpenau runs low. Almost clipping that back left foot, but Stevenson's able to move it away.
Yeah, and the frustration is visual and apparent on the face of Harpenau right now. Hasn't been displeased with some of those throws.
2-1 pitch is a 1-hopper to Weinstein at second. He'll throw it over to Santana at first for out number 3. 8 batters come around, resulting in 3 runs on 2 hits. 1 error in the field for the Oaks, and 2 left on base. We're through 7.5 here from Conejo Creek Ballpark. 15-3 our score as we hit the break. You're watching Oaks Baseball on KDTV. We'll be right back.
Weinstein.
Max Weinstein steps in here for the Oaks in the bottom of the 8th. Welcome back, everybody. Jonah Malkin, Jonathan Rifkin, new pitcher on the mound for the Puff Caps as they lead at 15-3 is Brendan Beck, who is a designated hitter in today's game, doing a little bit of both as he deals the first pitch low and away for ball 1. Beck also has 5 RBIs and a home run under his belt, so dual player in today's game. Weinstein takes the 1-0 pitch foul for strike number 1. On the day for Weinstein, 0 for 3. 2 flyouts and a ground out in 3 trips, sporting the purple Cal Lutheran Kingsman helmet. Beck quickly deals the 0-1 pitch, popped over to right field. Running back on it is Bonin, and it's going to hit off the wall for extra bases. Routing first and going to second is Weinstein. The throw in will not come in time, and Max Weinstein is on with a leadoff double here for the Oaks.
Yeah, nice hit from Weinstein deep into right center.
Now batting number 9, Grant.
Lead off hit looking to generate some potential momentum, at least in the future. But nice start to this inning.
Grant Mayu steps in out for the Oaks. Hit a home run in his last at-bat. 0 for 2 before that. A strikeout and a pop out into foul territory. First pitch he sees runs outside for ball 1. By the way, new shortstop is Presno. Took over for Cruz last inning. Checking the runner at second is Beck. Deals the 1-0 pitch outside for ball 2.
Yeah, Mayu, a little bit of a redemption moment when he got that home run. He's been battling with the umpire, exchanging some words. That certainly ought to have felt nice for him to launch that one over the wall.
2-0 pitch into Mayu was foul, tipped off the head of Vlash back against the screen. And we'll do it at 2 balls and 1 strike. 15 runs on 15 hits, no errors for the Caps. 3 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors for the Oaks. In what's been a struggle for them so far in this game. Beck comes set, checks the runner at second, and deals the 2-1 pitch to Mayu, a curveball, painting the outside corner for strike number 2.
Yeah, beautiful pitch from Beck on the outside. Another versatile batter and pitcher along with fellow teammate Bryce Bond, and the two of them exchanging designated hitting duties.
2-2 pitch is another curveball outside, though, for ball number 3. The Oaks need a miracle to come back from a 12-run deficit here in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's been a long game. You can kind of tell in the demeanor that the Oaks are composing themselves. Payoff pitch, foul tipped into the glove of Lash for strike 3. Down goes Mayu. The first strikeout on the day for Beck, the 6th collectively for the Puff Caps. And that's going to bring up Brandon Lewis, 1 for 2 on the day with a walk, a run scored, a home run, and a pop out too short in his 3 at-bats. The LA Pierce Junior College superstar stepping in. 1 away, runner on second, 8-run game as Beck deals the first pitch to Lewis, a curveball on the outside corner for strike number 1. Throw goes over the head, but Stevenson is able to get it, keeping Weinstein at bay at second base. Give you a lay of the land here for the Puff Caps in just a moment as Beck steps back on the rubber. Comes set on the stretch from the belt and deals, though, 1 pitch to Lewis. Upstairs, popped over to left. Running over to it is Tawa, and he is going to grab it for out number 2. Lay of the land for you here for the Puff Caps. Tim Tawa in left, Dante Williams in center, Bryce Bonin in right.
Number 33,
Nick Brusser at first, Cody Stevenson at second, Presno at short, Bryce Bogano at third, Lash behind the dish, and Brendan Beck, the number 3 hitter, or number 3 pitcher, on the day in for the Puff Caps. By the way, Adam Seminaris pitched 3 innings, gave up 1 hit, 1 run, no walks, 2 strikeouts for the Puff Caps. As the new batter, Chase Cockrell steps in and takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. Cockrell on the day, 1 for 3. The flyout, a strikeout, and a single takes the 1-0 pitch upstairs for ball number 2. Oaks will be back on the road tomorrow in Ventura. The play of the Halos at 4:30. 4:15 pregame for that one. The Halos, the Oaks duking it out for the 4th time of the season. 2-0 pitch, skied backward. towards us behind home plate. And foul. That'll even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Oaks will have a day off on Monday before Santa Barbara special, if you will, on the 4th of July to take on the Foresters. That game is always fun. If you remember last year, the Oaks won 6-4 against the Foresters on 4th of July. 2-1 pitch. Runs inside for ball number 3. And the reason that game was special was not only the Oaks got the win, but tempers flared. Hunter Williams, the left fielder for the Foresters, got ejected. Bill Pintard, the manager for the Foresters, got ejected. 3-1 pitch to Cockrell is popped up and foul once again. Full count now. Oaks head coach David Solis got ejected, along with Jake Arledge, the center fielder. Isaiah Campbell, the starting pitcher. It was just quite a showing. The Oaks were able to edge out the Foresters in that game, though. And it was jam-packed with a lot of fun. Stay tuned for that one on Tuesday. Payoff pitch. Dealt in from Beck, fouled back against the fence, and we'll do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, not to mention the last two times the Oaks have faced the Foresters, they've come out on the winning end 6-4. So just extra motivation.
They were down last Saturday too, Jonah, to them, and came back to win 6-4. They were down 4-2. Payoff pitch, a curveball, slapped foul. We'll do it again at 3-2. Oaks and Foresters are probably the biggest rivalry in summer collegiate baseball. You could probably argue that the YD Red Sox and the Cape Cod, I forgot, the name is escaping me now, the Cape Cod League are another big rival, but nonetheless, you know that the Foresters and the Oaks are right there. Puff Caps head to Palo Alto after today. Payoff pitch, runs low for ball 4. Cockrell fights his way to a walk. 2 away, runner on second and first now. First walk given up by Beck on the day, only 3rd by the Puff Caps collectively. The Oaks have given up 15 walks today, and Cody Santana is going to step in 0 for 2 on the day with a walk, a ground out over to first, and a fly out to left in his 3 times up. The Y Pacific Shark steps in, waves that bat. Bet deals the first pitch, swung and a miss for strike number 1. "15 runs, 15 hits, no errors for the Puff Caps. 3 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors for the Oaks." Santana steps back in, digs in that left-handed batter's box. Coming set on the mound is Beck from the stretch. Pearson fires the 0-1 pitch, swung and a miss for strike number 2, and Santana is quickly down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Weinstein led off the inning with a double. He's standing at second. Mayu struck out, and Lewis flew out to left. The next 2 batters, Cockrell walked. Now Santana down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes here. Takes a couple of practice swings. Beck deals, though, 2 pitch, and it's cracked over to right. Running up on it is Bond, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. Oaks get a runner in scoring position, but can't get him around. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left on base. We're through 8 full here from Conejo Creek. Puff Caps leading 15-3. You're watching Oaks baseball on KDTV. We'll be right back. Back here at Conejo Creek, Jonah Malkin, Jonathan Rifkin, Oaks Baseball and KDTV. Puff Caps lead it 15-3 as Miguel Salud from Cal Lutheran takes the mound for the Oaks in the bottom of the ninth inning, or top of the ninth inning, excuse me, as Dante Williams steps in. On the day in the number 1 spot as Salud deals, Williams shows bunt, holds it there, but the pitch sails over his bat for strike number 1. 1 for 4 with a single, a couple walks, a fly out, and a strikeout. 15 runs, 15 hits, no errors for the Puff Caps. 3 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors for the Oaks. Puff Caps with an impressive lead here in the top of the ninth. Salud kicks and fires. The 0-1 pitch, a curveball on the outside corner for strike number 2. Salud was named the most outstanding player in the Division III World Series for his 3 games pitched as the closer. He ended up breaking the saves record for the Cal Lutheran Kingsmen and helped them win that championship. 0-2 pitch into Williams is slapped in the gap between first and second into right field for another leadoff single. He has reached base now 4 times in the game. And that'll bring up Bryce Bonin in the number 2 spot.
Now batting, number 15, Bryce Bonin.
On the day for Bonin. 0 for 2 with 4 walks, 2 runs, a strikeout and a ground out. Waves that bat over his right shoulder. Salud deals the first pitch, popped foul out of play, 0-1 the count. Salud's also from the Philippines, so nice to have an international presence on the roster. Very nice guy. Actually a phenomenal pitcher as well. Fastball in the low 90s, curveball, slider, and changeup as well. Oh, 1 count here as Salud comes set on the rubber, kicks and fires. The second pitch to Bonin. It's waved out and fouled off of the face mask of Castro. 0-2 the count now.
Yeah, and actually funny story on the first day of training camp for the Oaks. Both of us, me and Salud and I, were parking right next to each other. We both walked out of the car at the same time, gave each other a nice smile, and we've developed a friendship ever since.
0-2 pitch is a looper over the second baseman Max Weinstein's head into right center, and that one's going to drop for a bloop single. So 2 on, nobody away here in the top of the ninth inning on back-to-back hits. And Fresno
Number 22, Zach
is going to step in. 0 for 1 on the day, but he reached on air back in the 8th and came around to score. Long game here from Conejo Creek. Almost nearing that 3-hour mark as the first pitch was at 12, 2:53 local time here on the West Coast. Runners on first and second, nobody away as Castro and Salud have a quick conversation. Salud just got his new number today. He was wearing number 21, but that was Jason Oliver's number out there in center, so they had to print him a new one. Sporting number 13. Lucky number 13. As Fresno steps back in, 0-0 pitch, swung and a miss for strike number 1. Getting progressively warmer here from Conejo Creek. Sun begins to peek over the mountain a little bit, up at 77 degrees now. Still breezy out to right, but it's died down a little bit, about 4 miles an hour, 6 miles an hour gusts. 0-1 pitch, waved and a miss for strike number 2. Quiet day. The Puff Caps were very vocal through the first couple of innings, but have since yet to really be rowdy, even though their team is up 15-3. The Oaks have yet to show much spryness, for lack of a better term, in their own dugout. 0-2 pitch, swung and missed for strike 3. Down goes Fresno. 3 pitches and a strikeout for Salud. 1 away now for Nick Brewser in the cleanup spot. On the day, 2 for 3 with 3 walks, 3 runs scored, 2 singles, an RBI, and a pop out. Actually, it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter. As the first pitch is swung and missed, it's going to be Carson Olson, who pitched yesterday. He's attending Cal in the fall, so Brewster's day is done. Olson comes in. The number 3 pitcher yesterday pitched an inning. He had a strikeout, no walks, no runs, as the 0-1 pitch is swung and missed for strike number 2. Headed to the University of California in Berkeley in the fall. Down to the count 0-2. Miguel deals the 0-2 pitch in the dirt, gets away from Castro. Runners will advance on the wild pitch, so over at third base is Williams now. Bonin over at second base. 1 away, 2-1, 1-2 count, 3 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors for the Oaks. 15 runs, 17 hits, no errors for the Puff Caps. By far the most hits the Oaks have allowed this season. 1-2 pitch is ripped over to second. Weinstein will get it and toss it over to Santana for out number 2. Run does come in to score in the form of Dante Williams, and the Puff Caps get a productive out and take a 16-3 lead now.
Now batting number 4.
Yeah, Olsen just placed that ball far enough from the home plate to give Williams enough time to run home and score.
Brett Pagano steps in now as he pops the first pitch he sees foul towards third base for strike number 1. On the day for Pagano, 1 for 2 with a single, 2 runs scored. He reached on a fielder's choice in the 8th inning and has an RBI as well. He came in a pinch hit for Drew Williams in the number 5 spot. Comes back in, 0-1 the count, 2 away. Infield playing back, runner at third base, 1 around in the inning, 16-3 our score. As Salute sets and fires the 0-1 pitch to Pagano inside for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 away now. Puff Caps, really impressive stuff in this series. They dropped yesterday's game 4-2, but won 7-3 the first game, and now up 16-3 here as the 1-1 pitch is popped foul out of play. Salute now ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. For a team composed of post-high school grads, they are incredibly talented. Every one of these players headed to a prominent Division I university, and each one of these players showing that they can compete with some of the nation's best. As the 1-2 pitch from Salute runs in the dirt for ball number 2. Check swing, they're saying it didn't go around anyways, so 2-2 the count, 2 away. And I think, like I mentioned earlier, the Puff Caps were in the CCL. They moved away due to CCL regulations because they wanted to stay a post-grad team. As the 2-2 pitch is ripped over to Mayu at short, he'll get it and fire it over to Santana at first for out number 3. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 left on base. We're through 8.5 here from Conejo Creek. Puff Caps lead at 16-3. You're watching Oaks Baseball on KDTV, bottom of the 9th when we come back.
For the Oaks, number 20.
Bottom of the ninth inning we go. Puff Caps lead it by 13, 16-3. Ryan Rodriguez, headed to UC Davis in the fall, takes the mound for the Puff Caps. In the pinch hit for Cody Santana's Juan Gonzalez as he fires, or the first pitch fired in is popped up into center where Dante Williams will make the catch in an acrobatic style for out number one. Santana before that, excuse me, not Santana, he actually comes in from McFarland. McFarland before that was 0 for 4, now Gonzalez, or 0 for 3, Gonzalez now 0 for 1 on the day. The catcher from Oklahoma Baptist. Stepping in Milo Beam's place is Will Pickett as the 0-0 pitch paints the outside corner for strike one. Beam ends his day for the Oaks at 1 for 3 with a strikeout, a ground out, and an RBI single back in the second. Pickett's from LA Pierce Junior College takes the second pitch he sees, a one hopper to short. Fresno gets it and fires it over to first for out number 2. And just like that, there are 2 quick outs now for Zane Willems, coming in to pinch hit in the number 9 spot for Jacob Castro, who finishes his day 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch, a fly out, and a ground out. Willems from Alvin Community College in Texas, headed to Texas Tech in the fall. With the last breath of air here for Oaks, down 16-3. The first pitch to Willems runs outside for ball 1. Willems, one of 3 catchers for the Oaks. All 3 have now played as Jacob Castro day is done. Juan Gonzalez came in to hit in the top of the inning. 1-0 pitch is belted into left center field. That's going to get down and roll to the wall. Rounding first and holding is Willems as the ball is quickly cut off by Williams. And a 2-out base knock here for the Oaks in the bottom of the 9th. I wouldn't say it gives them a breath of life because they're down by 13 runs, but at least gives some confidence to Willems. As Jason Oliver at the top of the order will step back in on the day for Oliver. 0 for 4 with a strikeout, 2 flyouts, and a ground out.
Yeah, well, develop some type of optimism, I guess, you can carry with you.
First pitch runs in the dirt for ball 1. Actually, excuse me, taken at the knees for strike 1. 16 runs, 17 hits, no errors for the Puff Caps. 3 runs, 6 hits, 3 errors for the Oaks as Rodriguez comes set. Pearson fires. The 0-1 pitch to Oliver. It's popped up behind home plate, but that's going to glide out of play for strike number 2. Rodriguez, the 4th pitcher on the day. Brandon Beck went 1 inning, 1 strikeout, 1 walk, no errors. Excuse me, no runs, no hits. And yet the Puff Caps have yet to commit an error in the series. The 0-2 pitch runs up and into Oliver. 1-2 the count, sporting the blue Cal State Bakersfield Roadrunner helmet. Back at the top of the order for the first time in a couple of days. 1-2 pitch from Rodriguez is slapped foul towards the third base coach Brian Wilson. First year with the team from Central Arkansas. Now the head coach of Pacifica High School in Oxnard, California, actually. A nice addition to the Oaks squad of fantastic coaches. 1-2 pitch as Rodriguez nods and fires. A fastball taken over to right field, and that's going to drop into fair territory. Rounding second and going to third is Willems. He'll be held up there, and back-to-back 2-out knocks for the Oaks. Have runners at the corners with 2 away for Max Weinstein. 1 for 4 on the day with a double, 2 flyouts, and a ground out.
Yeah, nice pair of consecutive hits. Brings some more life here at Conejo Creek Ballpark.
Weinstein stepping in now. 2 away, 2 on. Down 16-3 as Rodriguez checks that runner at third. Nods, kicks, and fires the 0-0 pitch upstairs over the glove of Lash, but staying put at first base. Or at third base, excuse me, is Willems. By the way, Olsen will take over. Actually, check that. It looks like Fresno takes over at second base, or at first base. So there's a couple of shifts in the field as the 1-0 pitch is popped foul off the screen, 1-1 the count. Over at short is Brett Pagano. So Pagano at short, Fresno at first. Those are the infield changes here with 2 away, 2 on, 1-1 count. Dealt to Weinstein up and in for ball number 2. 3 hours and 5 minutes into the game. Now 2-1 pitch to Weinstein is popped out of play. That evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, the game kind of extended in a couple of those innings when the Puff Caps were able to generate a number of hits and draw several walks.
Rodriguez comes set and deals the 2-2 pitch. Popped into shallow right center field. Stevenson, the second baseman, gets back on it. And actually, Bonin will make the catch over his head from right field for out number 3, and that ends the game. The Oaks get no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and they leave 2 on base. Final score, Puff Caps 16, the Oaks 3. Final line for both teams, 16 runs, 11 hits. 17 hits, no errors for the Puff Caps. The Oaks get 3 runs on 7 hits and 3 errors. They leave a total of 7 left on base. Jonah, the Puff Caps are a phenomenal team. It was a pleasure to watch them play. Post-grad high schoolers who are headed to some phenomenal universities, and they really took it to the Oaks here.
Yeah, and that's why you can't feel bad about yourselves if you're the Oaks, because you're playing elite competition, talented players who are looking to make imprints right away for these Division I universities. But I think ultimately, look, you can blame a couple things on the dimensions of the park if you'd like to find some excuse and room for error, but ultimately that wasn't what determined the outcome of the game. What determined the outcome of the game was just the Puff Caps had incredible offensive firepower, and the pitching for the Oaks just wasn't quite up to par like it's normally been all season, and as a result, that's why you saw that scoring barrage. The Puff Caps, 17 hits, that's a season high for an opposing team to play against the Oaks. So ultimately, they have to just regroup, focus on the task at hand, getting back into CCL play, and try and improve from there.
Game time was 3 hours and 5 minutes. Adam Seminaris got the win. Nate Wenner got the loss. In a very long ball game here from Conejo Creek, the Oaks dropped to 16-8 overall. 11-6 still in the CCL. The Puff Caps 13-2 now in their season as a whole. That's going to wrap it up for us here from Conejo Creek. For everybody that made this broadcast possible, our wonderful intern and crew here at Conejo Creek, our GM, Randy Riley, head coach David Solis, our team ops guy, Chris Ruffinelli, our statistician, Keith Schneider, my broadcasting partner, Jonah Malkin. My name is Jonathan Rifkin, signing off, wishing you a wonderful rest of your Saturday afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow when the Oaks take on the Ventura Halos at 4:30, 4:20 pregame. Until then, enjoy the rest of your day. Once again, the Oaks lose at 16-3. We'll see you tomorrow.